Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Go Live. And what a I keep saying this every week to the point where it's just losing its effect. But genuinely, every other week, some industry-shattering thing happens, and we get to be there, front lines to talk about it with incredible guests, and you are incredible viewers. It's going to be a mad show. It's going to be such a mad show. We got so much madness, and look at this panel, man. Look at this panel. You know it's going to be saucy. Before we do that, shout out to GameOnDaily.com, the news aggregation platform that is as sexy as the cells. If you haven't registered on that, you better register today. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Stop saying happy birthday. Dark CMF, I will find a way to end you. But yeah, before we get to introduce this incredible panel, I have to introduce my buddy, Asa, co-host and co-founder. How are you, man?
I'm fantastic. My legs are aching from playing so many games, which normal context makes no sense. But if you know me, you know that does make quite a lot of sense. My legs are aching. I've been running around virtual worlds all week, but I'm fantastic. We've got some big topics to talk about, and we've got some nice, diverse perspectives and opinions coming in. So looking forward to hearing how this one plays out. And happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday.
You get your cardio
Yes.
in, bro. Every time I see on Twitter, he's like working out and shit. He's like running. I'm like, Asa, bro. Like, damn. Making me feel bad. I'm sitting there eating a burger. Anyway.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, whilst you're losing weight playing games, I'm gaining weight playing games, but I'm also gaining weight. Let's just dealing with the madness of the gaming news, but the show would be nothing without the guests who we get to discuss this with. Look at this panel. In no particular order, the baby carrot munching legend from the famed RDX podcast is Zorka87. What are you saying, brother?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with Marlon. Honestly, man, I've heard a lot about him. I've seen a lot of his stuff, so it's really good. And of course, I'm glad to be here with Asa. I don't give a shit about you guys, but Asa, you're awesome, bro. You're the man. I love being on with you every time. No, I'm glad to be here. And you know what? I think this is a great week because so much shit has happened. Yeah. Like just in January in the industry, and I know we have a lot of topics and Bungie, all that stuff. Look at my background. I'm just saying, he might have that PlayStation in the background, but I got StarCraft behind me. All right. So yeah. Oh yeah, and happy birthday, guys.
Oh my God!
Happy 50th birthday!
What is chat? Chat is just spamming.
Chat's going crazy. Happy birthday!
I didn't know you were like 185, bro. That's pretty nice.
Oh wow, 185.
That's based on how Wow, well done. I have to put my hats off to Dog CMF. He has carried that forward. It has been a mad week for gaming news, industry changing stuff, and of course, what a great time to have this gentleman. Last but certainly not least, it is the proprietor of It's a Wrap. It's Harlan Gaming Nation. What are you saying, brother? Finally, we get you on again. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, brother.
Yes. Anytime, man. I'm happy to be here. Love gaming, passionate about what I do. So yeah, let's get it, man. Let's go.
Oh, it's gonna be hyped. It's gonna be hyped, bro. It's so quick. I love it.
Man is here. The hype man is here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You are the sickest hype man. You are the sickest hype man. This is gonna be a great show. Well, I wonder what we'll talk about. Well, it's been a little bit of a maybe slightly eventful week in the gaming space. My God, man, if you didn't like the word consolidation, you certainly won't like it now. Unless you're Jason Schreier. Then he would love it.
Yoshi, baby. It's okay, Yoshi, baby.
Yoshi. Shout out to Save from our Familia. He is just ridiculous, man. He did that in one take, ad-lib. Just amazing. I hope you're watching safe. But yeah, like, this is insane. So on a Monday, Sony out of left field. So people have been talking about acquisition season, this, that. And then the acquisitions that actually happen tend to be things that no one even imagined. Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft is like, what we spent days, hours, minutes, everyone, the whole of the internet speculating, and yet it seems so funny that we can't get it right because this industry's without its surprises, right? Bungie, the studio that made Halo, the Halo that made Xbox the viable console that it is today. If there was no Halo, there would be no Xbox today. Facts. It's a wrap. And I'm going to keep using that. It's a wrap. No, honestly. So how on earth is it possible that the competitor PlayStation, not messing around, goes straight for Bungie, the studio that created that seminal franchise? Shocking for everyone. Big numbers also being thrown around when people wrote off PlayStation for its supposed small wallet, and also some other things around it. There's so much to break down with this deal. There's so much to talk about this. So why don't we, first of all, let's break this down into constituent parts. Reactions to what this was. Zorka, before I ask Marlon, what was your take? I know I heard a bit on it on RDX. What's your take on it generally, though, for people who haven't heard you?
Competition, man. That's what it is. It's all about competition, and that's the big thing. Like, Bungie's a good get, and they have been working with Bungie a lot since Destiny came out. Like, don't get me wrong, they just threw them a bag of money and said keep the shit exclusive, some strikes and stuff. But the big thing, and this is something that Jim Ryan was talking about, is that Bungie went through a lot of hardships taking their games away from consoles and putting it on PC too. Like, obviously they kept it there on consoles, but they wanted to go on PC, and they did a lot of growing pains going through that. And that's something that they talked about, right? They talked about all that stuff happening. And Jim Ryan said, like, hey, they kind of went through this process that we're going through right now, and we can learn a lot from them, and they can help us. Not to mention, they have a live action service game, right? Like, live services right there. It's something that Sony wants. They have one of the best FPSs in the game. Destiny, something Sony wanted. And, the big thing that always came up is people are like, oh, they overpaid. I'm sitting there and I'm like, listen, I get it. I think they overpaid a little, but I'm not going to go to the extreme where it's like, what the hell are you think? You got to look at it this way for me. Every single generation, Bungie has defined a generation. Halo defined Xbox. Halo 2 and stuff defined 360. And then you look at Destiny when that came out, that defined the Xbox One, PS4 generation. Like, that's just what it did. And you better believe that new IP they're making and Destiny, whatever they're making, it's going to be a massive game that's going to define something. It's going to be multi-platform, but Sony's going to be able to put their name on it and learn from it and have their other studios learn from it. And then expand Bungie into something else. Do I think they overpaid a little comparatively? I do a little bit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, this is what's happening. Like I said this before, WB, remember it was like 2 years ago, it was like $4 billion for WB Studios. And everybody was like, that's insane. It's like, not no more. $4 billion is like, damn, I'll take that right now. Like, let's go. Let's take them, right? Because that's like 6 studios that are AAA that make massive games. That is the whole point. And I think that's why I like what they did. I know what Sony did. And listen, I'm not a Sony guy. Like, I'm not PlayStation, but I'm a competition guy. I want Sony to stay. I even want Sony to stay number one in revenue if they do, because that just makes Xbox better. That makes everybody better. That's what we got to see. And then I want to see Xbox be number one and then Sony try to be number one. It's all about competition, because that just benefits us. Facts. Everybody here, everybody in chat that loves gaming, that benefits us, the gamer. That's it. So that's my take on it. I think it was a good move, a big move, and a ballsy move too. No, I can't. I definitely can't disagree with that. Before I get into that, Marlon, with you have been the person that you're, the personality, the celebrity that you are. You have been doing the rounds because everyone sees you. You are a PlayStation guy through and through. I think a lot of people see our community that those few PlayStation fans that we have, they do cite your reactions. Why? And we've used you in a lot. I've used you a lot in our source videos because your reactions, one, are brilliant. Your character's incredible and it's entertaining. But two, what sets you apart is, despite being a vehemently strong PlayStation support, like I would be an Xbox One, you don't or haven't hesitated to call
out PlayStation when it's done something wrong, Xbox when it has done something right. The acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and you quite famously, your reaction was very down to earth and very frank. What, as a passionate PlayStation fan, what do you genuinely feel about this acquisition of Bungie by PlayStation?
Man, to be honest, I was very shocked because I was like, wait, Bungie? Like PlayStation Bungie? I'm like, nobody saw this one coming, right? Because everybody was like Square, or they wanted them to do Konami. Everybody's still on that whole Konami thing. Capcom, right? You know what I'm saying? So the whole time when that announcement with Bungie was going on, it was trending on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
That Konami was trending, right? Everybody was like, nah, it should have been Konami, this and that. So I think a lot of PlayStation fans is like upset, you know what I'm saying? Because there's like waste of money. They spend too much money on Bungie, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, but when you kind of dig in, you kind of understand that, everybody was salty about the live service situation as well. But if you look at Bungie and what they're doing with Destiny, right, and what Sony's plans are for live service games and everything, it just actually makes sense. And on top of that, Sony's already in the movie business. So Jim Ryan mentioned movies and TVs and all of that type of stuff. So there's the value proposition right there, right? And then also you got to look at using them, you know what I'm saying, for your gains or whatever, as far as their IPs and stuff. Because remember, Jim Ryan said that they're going to use them for their expertise on their new IPs or whatever they're developing. Yes. So it's multifaceted, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, while a lot of people is like, wait, this is not the same Sony, because the whole live service situation, the 10 live service games, and then them buying Bungie, is like, wait a minute, like, Sony is really not known for buying up big publishers and stuff like that. That's not Sony. Like, Sony is more of like, hey, we've been working with this studio for like 10 years or 15 years. Let's buy them. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Housemarque. They've been dealing with Housemarque for years. You know what I'm saying? So every little purchase leading up to this Bungie stuff made sense for PlayStation fans. So when
really, not the last year, bro. Last year they bought some shit that we were like, who the hell? Like Googling, like they never worked with these motherfuckers. I mean, come on, Marlon, hold on, bro. Like I know you a PlayStation guy. You're going down this organic route, and I'm not taking it. We ain't at Trader Joe's, so hold up. Because this ain't what happened. The last year they've bought some people that were making AAA third-party games, were making PC games, and they bought those guys because they knew they needed the manpower. And I'm just saying, like, before that, I will agree, it was a little bit like everybody we worked with. But the last year and a half, Sony was like, yo, we just need to start grabbing shit. And they did.
Yeah. And part of that reason is because of the whole Bethesda situation and employees within Sony saying, hey, look, like, we need to do something. We need to put our games on PC. That, so they were pushing Sony like, hey, you need to get your games on PC. You need to get a game on PC, because the thing is with Microsoft, they already been doing that, right? And that's been successful for them. And remember when Microsoft announced that, hey, they're going to put their games on PC and everything like that, everybody was against that, right? And then now Sony is doing it. And remember, Jim Ryan said that the plan is to expand beyond consoles. That's a Microsoft business model right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a reactionary thing now than anything else. It's like, okay, our eyes are open. And I keep telling people, like, Xbox really pioneered a lot of things, right? That's one of the main reasons why I've been an advocate, say, hey, celebrate Xbox, celebrate gaming, regardless. You got it. You have to look at it, because I said, look, if you're a one-sided gamer, then you're missing out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You're missing out. You'll be a fool to sit there and look at Game Pass and say, oh, well, Game Pass is not a good value. How is it not a good value? I mean, regardless if you sign up for Game Pass or not, hey, maybe one or two games you might like out of it. I'm not saying for you to play every single game in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And why would Jim Ryan say, hey, you know what? We're going to find a way to compete with Game Pass. Why do that if you don't see it being lucrative, or you don't see it being very successful? You get what I'm saying? So
otherwise,
otherwise it wouldn't make sense, right? Well, so why come out with a service to try to compete with Game Pass. You get what I'm saying? If it's not making sense.
You've said this before in one of your videos. You were quite emotive about it, and even in your chat, there were people trying to downplay, and you were going, "No, this is obviously something serious." If the opposition or PlayStation is trying to combat it, if they say they have their own solution for it, whatever the hell Spartacus ends up being, it will definitely exist because Game Pass existed, and there's pressure from Xbox.
It's also the spike in revenue from Xbox that they got through those PC games. Because let's like, I know there's a lot of console gamers out there. Each one of us are console gamers, and I would say everybody in here, I think Marlon, I don't know too much, but everybody here is also a PC gamer.
Yeah, I got
like, that's just me. So do I. 39. What's up, bro? So like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, we're having a good time over here. We get to play whatever we want, when we want, how we want, and that's something that, truthfully, Xbox pioneered before anyone. Like they did. I think Sony back in 2011 had an idea of that. They just couldn't execute it. And I think they kind of pulled away from it because it cost too much. They didn't have the infrastructure for it. And it's not even talking shit. Like, that's just what it was. And they were smart to pull back and then concentrate on their own stuff like PlayStation, because it won them the day at the end of the day. It won them PS4 generation. And it made them so much stuff. So I'm looking at it as Sony's finally seen that, like, hey, we can try to do this now. We can get in that PC market, because the console market, they got that tapped. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like people think there's like hundreds of millions. There's about like 150 to 200 million people that are in the console market. Whatever we saw the PS4 do is where we're at now. That's the cap. Yeah. Like, to me, that's the cap. That's the most that's the most they're going to see. Now they got to look like, how else can we grow? And it's PC. Like, PC has those hundreds of million that you can reach, and that's what they're going to try to do. And that's what Xbox has a head start on them by like 4 years, man. Like, they do. They've been doing it since 2016. 2016, they've been putting their shit out there, and that's going to be something that now they're going to be ultra aggressive. I mean, the CEO of Sony said we're going to be aggressive in PC gaming. Like, he literally said that.
And just to piggyback off of what you said earlier about them buying like the other studios and stuff like that, like, you know, you got to understand that Microsoft is forcing their hand. And the thing is, too, is that we want Sony to be more aggressive. And that's something I was trying to tell people at the start of this generation. I said, Microsoft is not playing around. Okay, no. Give them credit, because they're coming out the gate swinging. Yes, the whole launch situation with no games, we get that. All right, we passed that now. We got backwards compatibility. You know, you can't say Xbox ain't got no games no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On the Sony side, and this is why I was telling people, like, when that whole statement came out, Sony this, Sony that, Sony's in trouble. Like, bro, Sony has their bread and butter, which is what? Their exclusive games. Their $70 premium exclusive games. Like, Sony is like Apple. Like, they have nothing to worry about. Like, regardless, whatever they drop, their fans is going to eat it up. Regardless. So they don't have to worry about anything. Only thing they got to do is come up with a business model, whether it's similar to Game Pass or not, that works similar to that. If they want to compete, right? Whether they're doing day and date PS5 exclusives, or they're doing legacy, titles or whatever that's tied into that subscription service, whatever they want to do to try to compete, they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think right now, this is the Sony that we want to see Sony come out of the shadows and be more aggressive, start talking more, start communicating more, because that's the area that Sony's been lacking in for years. And I've been telling people, so you can't get mad at Microsoft when you hear this whole statement, oh, Microsoft is trying to monopolize the industry and this and that. That's far from the truth. That's way off. You're being too aggressive here, because if you look at what Sony is doing right now, Sony is buying stuff. There's plenty of stuff to buy. You got EA, you got T2, you got Capcom, you got Konami.
Well, I think you got to put it in perspective, right? Like, Sony is buying stuff. I get that, right? Yeah. And Jim Ryan said wholeheartedly, we're not done. After they bought Bungie, they said, we're not done. We are going to continue to be aggressive. Yeah. And it's not, and I don't think it's just Xbox, bro. I think it's everybody, right? Like, Tencent's buying a shit ton of stuff. Take-Two just bought Zynga. You look at everybody else that's buying all of this stuff to expand gaming. You look at Amazon, Google, Apple, Embracer. Like, Embracer Group is buying stuff. So the big thing is talent. That's what Sony's trying to get, because when you look at it, it's all about content war, right? What's going on at Disney Plus, Netflix, all these people. And I'm not even talking subscription services. I'm just talking about getting people even to the movie theater. It's all about content. How much content can you get out there for your company? And that's what Xbox is doing. They're grabbing content right now. And Sony, you can say what you want. Last year for Sony was not it. Like having just Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and Deathloop. Like I'm sorry.
Think,
like
I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think I'm not saying that, I'm just saying like comparatively to what we've seen them do. Like, you know, Ghost of Tsushima,
actually, comparatively to what we've seen PlayStation do, their early years are absolutely rubbish. That was actually really comparatively strong for PlayStation in its early years. So I think people are downplaying that a little bit too much. Look at PlayStation 4. What did it have until Bloodborne dropped? Nothing.
Yeah, but they still won because of the Xbox that shot themselves in the face.
But Xbox had a great start. Xbox had a great start with.
But what I'm trying to say is it's different now. We can't look back 7-8 years ago what they did. It's about now. It's about now. What's happening now? So what's happening with Xbox is launched now. The launch of Xbox had Gears Tactics. It was kind of but last year it was like, be fucking real. Every month was like AAA since July,
actually,
bro.
Since the holiday season. Let's be real here.
No.
Okay,
since
Flight Simulator.
They've had games come in. They've had games coming in every single month, and I'm not even talking about just first party. I'm talking about third party deals. Like Back for Blood to me is almost like exclusive. It's on Game Pass.
Okay, Game Pass makes that viable.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a different.
Marlon's like, say it, Marlon. Just say it from your chest. Just slap him. If you want to slap him, just slap him on the air. I want you to.
Marlon's a classy guy. He ain't gonna slap me. Look at you, guys. You're such an instigator. What a piece of work.
Before I go to read your super chats, thank you so much. I'm going to read them all. Asa, what was your reaction? So I'm mindful that you haven't actually said anything for about a good 27 minutes. You, again, by the way, chat, Asa is a ghost. He lives in VR, so I don't even know what his reaction is. I genuinely don't, because he's such a hermit. Talk to me. Talk to us. Talk to the people. What was your reaction about Bungie?
In my ear, bro.
Oh, do you know,
whisper, please.
I can't. There's so much. I could talk about that for like an hour, reactions and like analyzing it and breaking it down. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go really, really basic.
Okay.
Like, really basic. That's a lot of money for something that Sony need. So as far as I'm concerned, Sony have never successfully launched a live service game. The one possible exception, the slight exception, is Gran Turismo Sport. Okay, that was relatively stable, that worked. But you look before that and you've got things like Drive Club. Sony have been a disaster. And you look at that deal and you look at the amount of money and you go, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Sony do need what Bungie are good at. And then you look at Bungie and go, do Bungie need Sony? Well, what can Sony offer them? They can offer them $3.6 billion. That's the primary driver for them. Yeah. And like access to the Azure servers, right? They've got that nice little partnership with Microsoft for their multiplayer games. Obviously, they could get that elsewhere. So it's a strange one because you talk about the amount of money, whether it's worth it, whether they're overpriced and all the rest of it. And to me, all of the string of acquisitions that we've seen, the figures that are thrown around are so abstract. They mean so little until you hold them up against each other. And then you've got Insomniac for like 200 odd million. You've got this one, Bungie for 3.6 billion. Suddenly sounds like an awful lot, right? With their one game and expertise. And then you've got ZeniMax with a ton of IP, both engines, technology, and games. For 7 billion, they suddenly seem like a bargain. And then you've got Activision Blizzard for 70 billion, and you're what even is this, right? None of these numbers make any sense, so who cares? When you talk about value, you have to look at opportunity costs, and you have to wonder who else they could have bought, and then it starts to become an interesting conversation. Like, was it the right move for them? Was it not? They've come right out of the gate saying all of these games are multi-platform now and going forwards. And they've been very clear, right? Very clear. There's no vagueness there.
Very clear. I think it's a little simple to look at it, though, Asa. Like, you're like, what does Sony offer them? Easy. It offers them support studios, money. It offers them stuff to because Destiny had Activision making 2 big studios, AAA studios, making expansions for them every time, twice a year. So that content, that help, gone. That's why the content that's been coming to Destiny has been, from what I've heard people talking, I don't play it too much often, is like kind of scarce. You're kind of like, I'm having fun, but like there's not enough. Like I need more.
Do you know though?
Like and that's what's going to provide them.
Their relationship with Activision, though, that is an interesting point on it, because obviously Bungie were acquired by Microsoft ages ago, and they left saying, we don't want to keep on making Halo. They left on amicable terms, supposedly with Microsoft having first refusal on whatever they made next. saying we don't want to make Halo, and we all know that they went and signed for 10 years with Activision to make something like Halo, right? They made Destiny, and it was same ballpark. They left Activision and they set up as a publisher in very short time, and Sony are keeping them running as a publisher. So Bungie have been through it. They've adapted and changed what they do as a business. And you're right, Sony have got studios. They can send the ICE team in there. The ICE team can say, Bungie, we love this game, but you need the tall grass. You need an assassination button. I'd like to see people hanging from ledges. Make it a PlayStation. No, I'm joking. They're not going to do that, right? They're going to let Bungie make the games. I know, a little bit messy.
Asa has the propensity to do that.
I can do that. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and they're going to make live service games. And Sony, so like I said, I didn't want to go into it too much, but Sony, for me, it's people talk about Microsoft's strategy, how they're bringing games to everybody everywhere through cloud and Game Pass and all the rest of it. And Sony are obviously following it to a degree, but for me, they're hedging their bets. They're following it to a degree, but they're also locking down exclusive Final Fantasy and making a VR headset and just hedging their bets and playing all the angles at the moment, because obviously they're not as big a player as Microsoft. No, and they're making moves in different directions. So it's fun to see it unfold.
And I don't think they're going to be able to get like the only other studio or even publisher, if they make a publisher push, because Jeff Keighley said, yo, there's other stuff that's being finalized right now. Like he's like, we hear about all this other stuff. The only thing I don't think they can do Take-Two. I mean, if they did, hey, I'd be.
They only got 10 billion, bro. They only got 10 billion left in the bank right now.
Well, we don't know. They can do it. They can find ways to manipulate it, right, and do stocks or something else, and move some stuff equity. But like the whole point is, at a 50% premium, like basically from what they're worth, 50% premium, Ubisoft is worth about 12 bill. So like, to me, that's kind of in range, right? And then when you look at Xbox, that's like they can just like go, oh, hold up. Here, like, you know, like they're like, we're good, like don't worry, do you need anything else? You want a Jamba Juice? Like, what up? Like they're gonna give you whatever you want.
Well, a couple of things on the, let's just, because is it a goodbye is the question. And so let me read the super chat, but I'll read all of them actually in order. But before I do that, I want to talk about whether or not it's a goodbye. And to me, it'll make long-term sense, but I do think they overpaid. I think they overpaid out of necessity, because PlayStation has not had, like you said, a successful live service game, say for Gran Turismo Sport. And Marlon, 10 live service games. 10, bro. That, as a PlayStation fan, after spending at least 2 gens of ripping into Xbox fan, that must felt like some mad sodium being injected into your veins. But don't even lie.
I'm gonna be honest though. Like I said, like, looking at Sony over the years and seeing what they have developed, their bread and butter is exclusives, right? Yeah. And hence why a lot of people are saying, well, it's a wrap for Sony because, you know, it's a wrap for Sony because, hey, they're going to pull away. They're going to deviate from single player games. And Herman came out and said, no. Like, we're still going to be doing that. That's part of our DNA from the beginning. We're going to continue to do more single player games. And if you deviate from that, then that's a problem. But I think what people got to understand is, like, Microsoft is good either way. You know what I'm saying? They're fine. Like, they can take L's for infinity and they'll be fine. I think the thing is with Sony is, like, they have to look at it like this. Well, we got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because Call of Duty is going to slip out of our hands. Regardless, the next 3 Call of Duty games, as far as we know, is going to be on PlayStation. But in the future, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Yeah. And obviously, they got to keep it off the table, you know, so that the deal can go through, right? That was what everybody else was saying. Like, yeah, they can't.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, right? So if you're Sony right now, you're backed in the corner, right? Then you got to do something, right? So they're like, We don't have COD, so let's grab Destiny. Let's do something with Destiny, right? And like
Yeah,
I said,
because what else is there that in that department? I don't know. The necessity, though, right, Marlon?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that, because it's like, well, now you got them backed in the corner now, and Call of Duty is making a lot of money for them. I think it was like 280 million or something a year or something like that.
They lost 20 billion when Activision Blizzard. They lost 20 billion in a day. Sony did. And they're
Well,
Very quick,
They lost
quick
20
interjection though. I really don't think
Yeah.
that the Bungie acquisition was a response to the Activision Blizzard acquisition.
No,
if I had to put any money on it, that was happening first.
I think
Yeah.
the Bungie acquisition is a response to Bethesda, because we haven't. To me, so Sony had two games, Deathloop and Ghostwire, that's coming out next month.
Right.
They were using them as like kind of like, hey, here's a shit ton of money, keep a game exclusive, like kind of like that's how they filled in their gaps. That's what Sony did. Sony, to all people saying like, oh, it's organic. Sony really did work with people, but they did it in a way where they didn't have to commit to them. They were like, here's 50 million, 100 million, make an exclusive game for us, but we're not going to own you. We just give you that much money and we don't got to worry about you. That's kind of what they did always.
Second party exclusives.
Yeah, second party exclusives. The only people that they kind of were like, you know what, we're bringing them on as Insomniac, because they're stupid talented, and they got them for a pretty decent price, but they don't own any IPs. But to me, the big thing that the thing about like what you're saying, Sony's bread and butter is exclusives. To me, I don't think that's it. I think they make amazing games. I think their exclusives are amazing. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC right now. It looks fucking beautiful. I love it. But that's not what made Sony in PS3 era. PS3, they were getting killed because it was so hard to make games there, and they still won at the end of the day. Do you know why? Because their name. The brand name is the key there. And then when the PS4 So when the PS4 came out, everybody's like, oh, they won because of this. And I'm like, they didn't win because of exclusives, bro. They didn't have exclusives for 4 years. They didn't have shit. They didn't have nothing. And then God of War came out. And then Horizon came out. And then all those exclusives, they cultivated that talent and they took the brunt of stuff. I mean, in 2016 or whatever, Sony was like, yeah, our first party's a little scarce. Like, they said that. And so I'm not looking at it as Sony's exclusives are the reason why they won, because it's the casual person is why they're winning. It's the price, the power, and the power that they had for the PS4 is what won them that generation. Like, that's just my take on it. I could be wrong, but that's just me. And so now this year, PS5, the competition has an all-time high, and to Sony's credit, you never count them out, man. You just don't.
No, you can't count.
You can't count out PlayStation and Sony, especially in gaming. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, they're number one right
now. That's what I'm saying.
They're
so, like,
one.
you say count them out. They are number one. How can you count out number one?
And then, and this is why I tell people, like, okay, people were salty about the live service situation. I mean, what do you expect Sony to do? They got to that's how they make their money. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, but this is the thing. Come on, man. Xbox guys been saying it for years. Xbox guys been saying it for years. That's how Sony had to take 3.6 billion for the Sony fans to take notice.
They have to do something, bro.
Because they have to do something because they don't have anything that is compared to what Xbox has. Like Xbox, the one thing they're missing is that third-person action adventure single-player game. For me. Sony, no. I mean, listen, I'm a Gears fan. No, listen, no, but like Gears. Listen, I mean, we got Gears. Listen. Gears is known for its online aspect, right? Oh, Marlon, are you waiting up right now? Are you doing bro? Gears. I like it. You know, I actually like Marlon. You're cool, bro. I like you. Marlon, you're cool as fuck, bro. I like you, bro.
No, he's right. I want some blood.
Listen, you want some blood? Listen, you want some blood? I'm not.
He's right about Gears.
I'm not gonna even say it. No. I'm just saying, like, I get
Marlon.
Marlon's cool as fuck, bro. I like Marlon now.
Marlon.
I don't follow people, bro. I'm gonna follow you on Twitter, bro. I'm gonna say what's up. we gonna talk. No, like,
I'm glad you said that.
But like for me, it's like the co-op games, right? Like that's why I'm an Xbox fan. I always told everybody, I'm not an Xbox fan because of the goddamn piece of plastic. I'm an Xbox fan because of their franchises. Yeah. I like Gears. I like Halo. I like Sea of Thieves. I have like almost 1,000 hours in. Like, I like playing with my friends, man. And that's what they provide me. Sony doesn't provide any of that. That's all. They don't provide any of that. I can't play. That's why people make fun of it. They call it the lonely station. Because when I'm on it, I'm really alone, bro.
Marlon, you're gonna allow that? Marlon, you can't allow that.
Look at this instigating bitch.
It's like being in the playground again. No, what?
Well, I got a question for Marlon.
Yeah.
What about the rumor that Bungie went to Microsoft first and actually asked for less money, and Xbox still turned their ass down? That's apparently like that's exact. That's like at this point
that's not
it's
confirmed.
almost.
See, that don't make sense though. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Is it
You know
though?
what I'm saying? Like that don't. Yeah, that don't even. Man, I heard so much wild stuff. No, that don't even make sense. You know?
Does it though?
Nah, man. I mean,
Let's say you just spent $7.5 billion and you got all these IPs,
Yeah.
and you're looking around and you're like, just for one IP? I don't know.
but
I'm not gonna lie, Marlon.
but
That makes sense to me, Marlon.
But let me finish. What? So,
Go ahead.
I mean, but you got to look at it this way. Like you said, one IP, because that one IP is what? Halo, right? I mean,
No, it's Destiny. It's
Destiny.
Destiny. Are you one of those people that think PlayStation on Halo now, Marlon? What are you doing with me right now, bro?
No. I'm just saying from like Microsoft's standpoint, because like everybody was like,
to count
why-
combat.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
why not buy Bungie? You know what I'm saying? Why did you let Sony? That was an argument too. Like, why did you let Sony buy Bungie when y'all should have just get Bungie? Because you know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. Y'all had history with them, and Halo.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
organic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would have been a sensible fit for them versus Sony just coming in and say, oh no, we're buying. But that's why I'm like, everybody was like, wait, what? Bungie? Out of all the publishers, out of all the studios that you could purchase, Bungie? You know what I'm saying? But then when you hear the breakdown from Jim Ryan and when you hear Herman talks, you're like, oh, okay, well, I get it. Y'all trying to move past consoles. Y'all trying to kind of change up some things and be more aggressive.
They
have to because Microsoft is forcing their hands right now. They're forcing their hands right now. So you can't just, even though you're number one, you still can't just lean off in the cut somewhere, you know, on a beach somewhere, drinking coconut, and the competition is out here reigning supreme like young Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do
But
something.
Marlon, I want a really quick question. Let me ask him one. I'm curious about this because we all know how Xbox fans laud Phil Spencer and love him. Marlon, do you like Jim Ryan, and is he the man to lead PlayStation as far as you're concerned?
Oh, the face says it all. It's like he had a lemon put in his mouth.
Marlon, it's a wrap. He's running it, right? It's a wrap.
Man, that's a wrap on that one, man. That's a wrap on that one. See, Jim, he's not like Sean Layden to me. Like Sean Layden is like more like how Phil Spencer is, like an actual gamer. Like he's more on the business side, and I feel like a lot of the decisions that he is actually making right now is kind of like, like what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like he is good on the business side, but when it comes to actual games and what people really, really want, I don't know, man. It's just
That's great of you to say that because and I see that in the PlayStation camera. Ace is such an instigator. Wow. But
Really, Mr. I want blood? You fucking
let me catch up with the super chats because these views have been absolutely incredible. Shout out to the 450 people watching. We've just started. Smash that like button. I'm having so much fun. Crib Walker, thank you so much for the $2 super 79. You didn't leave a message, but let me know in chat. Wandering Dutch says happy. Thank you for the £5. Yadani, who's been a member, thank you so much for being a member. Kids came for the stores, stayed for the wraps. Wow. See, make that merch, Marlon. Make that merch.
Yes,
I love that. It's all right. There's so much you can do with that. Shout out to KY Bob, who has been he was our first ever member. He's been a member for a year. Thank you so much, man. It will not be forgotten. He says the Halo scene at the Apple show before Microsoft acquired Bungie in 2000 was not the Halo we got. Microsoft drove the vision of the Halo we got. So talking about that maybe I don't know maybe I don't know. A lot to dissect there. Hoggy Channy, massive support and great friend. Thank you so much. He's a G. He's a G. He goes, happy birthday, Asa. Let's switch it up. Yes. Welcome to Gazistan, where we go for blood. Okay. Sony, hashtag Sony's a monopoly. Game on Source. Put Elden Ring in Game Pass. Gaz doesn't sleep. All of it true, including the Elden Ring in Game Pass. Maybe it can happen. I see you there, Dutch. KOI Bob, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Because approximately 70% of those Bungie employees that created Halo, including Staten, and the director of that team, are now at 343. Oh, really? That means they literally, the shit people went to 343 because Halo is a mess. I'm sorry. Halo is absolutely Zucker, I see you doing the people's eyebrow, but no, Halo is absolutely a mess. It's a flawed masterpiece as far as the campaigns go. The story's crap, multiplayer is a joke. I will do a video on it and lose more subs because my god, I'm getting pissed with Halo stands enabling the crap that we're seeing. Big Team Battle still doesn't work after over a month. They delayed their update again. Delay Halo was a joke, right? Yeah. Anyway, Moby, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, big up to GameOnDaily for having my boys Zorka and Marlon on. Much love. Everybody hit that like button. Moby, thank you so much for that. That's very sweet of you. Ashtray Gaming, thank you so much for the Australian $8, mate. He goes, Marlon blocked me on Twitter, but he's the most level-headed Sony guy out there. Zorka's a toddler. Guys, love the show. You're a toddler. Thank you so much, Ashtray. That's very nice. I don't know why, but you must have done something saucy to enable to be subjected to the block. Danny Passion Official, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. How about Insomniac? Organic Xbox? That you can actually argue that's organic, I would say, Danny. Xbox made Xbox Live. Sony copied it. Xbox created Game Pass. Sony copied it. Xbox released on PC. Sony's doing the same. Making the impression that, or giving the impression that Sony's the follower, not the leader. Marlon, any comments on that?
Wait, repeat that one?
He said Insomniac is not organic, although I disagree with that. Xbox made Xbox Live. Sony copied it. Kind of. So Xbox created Game Pass. Sony will copy it, and Xbox released on PC. Sony's doing the same. Is PlayStation not the leader or the follower? What do you think it is? Come on, fight for PlayStation.
I mean,
be truthful. Be truthful, bro.
I mean, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna pitch it like this. When it comes to the games, right? When it comes to their exclusive games, when it comes to quality. That's where Sony is leading. That's where Sony is leading.
You have so many quotes. Top quality. Just remember that.
Quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and because you heard
100%.
from Matt Booty. You heard what Matt Booty said. He said that, hey, looking at what Sony is doing, that's one thing that we have to respect. That's one thing that we have to give them is quality. And so if you have somebody that's over Worldwide Studios at Xbox saying, hey, look, we need to try to match what these guys are doing. Right? For a reason, because they look up to Sony because of the quality of their exclusives, high production exclusives. So when you look at that formula, you got to understand not every single thing, because everybody copy each other. But
Facts.
I think one of the main takeaways here is that nobody can deny that Sony leads when it comes to quality. And when you look at their exclusives,
Marlon,
that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you, what was the highest rated exclusive last year?
Well,
between the
I would
two,
say
I'm just
Ratchet-
asking. I'm just saying between the two.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. Just between the two. Just a question.
I would say Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank was higher than any Xbox exclusive?
You'd be messy.
But I wouldn't say that. But it was high.
It's Forza Horizon 5.
Forza Horizon 5, but I think as far as the highest quality that I've seen last year was definitely Ratchet. Like, on the platform. Like, yeah, Ratchet was like
on the PlayStation platform.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, I actually enjoyed it more than Returnal. And I thought Returnal was pretty good, but
Returnal was amazing.
Listen,
I love
Returnal, I
Returnal.
played it. I bought Returnal and played it. Well, when the damn developer told me don't play the game because we're messing up the saves, I was like, I was like, what? It's like, I bought the fucking game. You don't play the game. Like, you fucking kidding me. So that to me can't be like, we can't. I'm not throwing that under the rug. That's a bad launch. Sorry, shitty game if it launches like that. To me,
Yeah, that was a mistake.
I spent
But the
money on
game, but
So-
I didn't have that problem. Let's be honest, and I love that game. I think it's criminally underrated. Return, it does need a save thing. It didn't respect my time. But I agree with you, Marlon, about the quality though. Last year it was different. Xbox brought it. They had the highest Metacritic by far. They had Halo Infinite that reviewed well, more than it should, but fine. And then it's had other games as well. Xbox slapped PlayStation last year, in my opinion. But
just
I
so you
understand
know,
the legacy. You
highest
can't deny it. You can't deny the legacy of PlayStation, man. The games clap.
And so,
Xbox
just so you know, the
until
highest
this
rated
gen.
PlayStation exclusive was an Xbox-made game. And Deathloop. Deathloop.
Oh yeah.
That
That's
was-
not
yeah,
the funny part.
So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When,
So much
so for me, it's saucy, right? Like Marlon, I like you. You're a good guy. You're actually a cool guy. Like you don't, you're not kind of like vehemently spewing crap. Like you're actually level-headed. I like that. That's what makes you cool. That's what I enjoy talking to PlayStation people that talk Xbox, talk everything. Yeah. And right now, like they do have quality exclusives. God of War to me is one of the greatest games ever made. Ever made. It's the only game I ever felt that I wasn't playing with a crappy PlayStation controller where I forgot. I was like, oh, I'm not playing with this shit. Oh yeah, I am. Like so, to me, we got that whole quality thing. Yeah. I think it needs to be consistent. Last year, Xbox was consistent. Age of Empires on PC was fucking amazing. I loved it. I reviewed the game. I played it through. It was 35 hours for a campaign that I thought was great and well done and programmed extremely well. You know, like you look at everything else, Psychonauts 2, Microsoft's, Flight Simulator. I get it. All those games, though, Forza Horizon, and even Halo, no matter what the person that didn't understand the story, Gaz, says, it was actually a good game and review. Well, you shut your mouth, Gaz. So all that stuff,
Halo Infinite.
like I'm just saying, all the stuff they brought out was extremely high quality, high rated, and loved, and it made a shit ton of money. That's another thing. So to me, that's now it's about consistency. This year, we're going to see again if it happens. Sony's going to bring out for Forbidden West. It's going to be quality. I know it is because I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now. Yeah. The only thing is that I think that whole quality thing is starting to deteriorate. I think that whole thing, like, I'm just saying, no, I'm not saying that the games are going to be bad. I'm saying like the Xbox narrative of they don't make quality games. That's deteriorating. Just like they don't make games or they have no games is gone.
Yeah. I mean, okay. This is I think this is obviously one of the biggest things on the channel that I did. And obviously everybody clipped the stream and it was all over Twitter and everything. When I said this, I said, look, you can't say Xbox don't have any games anymore. And you can't just say that they're just a shooter box anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They got Bethesda. They got Activision. Well, the deal's going to go through, even though people are trying to stop the deal from going through. But at the end of the day, like I told people, I said the quality from Xbox has gotten so much better. And this is the staple. This is the standard. Hellblade 2. That's it, bro. That lets you know that Xbox, and on top of Flight Simulator and everything else, Forza Horizon, but the main staple, the best looking thing that we have ever seen on a console is Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2. Hands down, Hellblade 2. Like, if you look at Hellblade 2, I mean, from a technical standpoint, how the game runs, how she moves and everything like that.
Animations.
And when we animations and all that, I'm like, bro, what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He's right. No, he's right. Like,
obviously, the best looking game right now on the PS5 is Horizon.
Horizon doesn't come close to Hellblade 2 to me visually.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's why
it's a different art. Like, to me, I get what he's saying.
I mean, Hellblade is playing now. Hellblade looks next gen.
Like Hellblade is not. I mean, it might be.
Unreal Engine. It is next gen.
It's not a big open world game with extremely fast combat.
And it's not cross gen. So it's a bit of a.
Well, I mean,
next gen game.
Listen, no. We believe in generations, guys. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
We get so messy in chat. Messy in chat.
Hellblade 2
Someone in chat says I'm being a hypocrite because I
Oh
said
my
Returnal
God.
is buggy, but it was good. But Halo, listen, man, you're 5 years. You treat the flagship title like that. The reason why Halo has problems is because people didn't allow it to be delayed. I will say that. So you guys, anyway, I have to read the super chats, gents, very quickly because there's a lot, and I don't want to lose that. Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Xbox is buying studios. Sony is copying that too. I get that, Danny. And their whole organic thing went under the toilet, especially if you told me Bungie, you can't do that and even remotely dare to say organic. MBG was talking about that has some controller deals, so it's organic. No. Alfred Profit, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Remember, Sony only paid Bungie $1.2 billion just to keep the creators working at Bungie, aka increase their salary. No IPs were bought, so no Halo. Sony fans, even if Bungie owned Halo in the past. Alfred, you're right. The $1.2 billion retention thing is about retaining stuff. It's a smart move in terms of not owning IPs. All future IPs that Bungie create, they're independent, but they still belong under the PlayStation banner.
Bungie will own the IPs they create. That's part of the deal. So like the other thing is keeping talent there. That's part of the 3.6 billion. The 1.2 of that's to give people, incentive to stay. Don't hate on that, because that is one of the biggest reasons Xbox got Bethesda. Todd Howard has been known, and this is like confirmed, said, I want to work with Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Like we want him, how long is he going to be here? For the long term?
Yeah.
Because Todd Howard's going to be there for at least another 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Like, at least. And he wants Phil there because he doesn't want to work under anyone else unless he builds that relationship with them. It's all about relationships. So moving on. Go ahead. Get more chat.
Yeah.
I know we have a shit ton.
Well, just like $1.2 billion isn't a relationship. It's quite telling about the deal in terms of what Sony are acquiring there. It is expertise and talent from Bungie, and if someone were to poach the staff, then Sony will be a lot of money down with very little to show for it. So it's interesting, and it's great to see, because obviously when you're throwing these abstract numbers around that don't mean anything to me, you want the people that are making the games to be the beneficiaries of it, really. So I'm happy about that. I like that 1.2 billion. That's my favorite part of the acquisition.
Yeah. It's all about taking that risk, and that's why I was telling people, like, it's all about taking that risk, bro. Like, if you don't take that risk, bro, your rewards are going to be far less. You have to gamble. You know what I'm saying? And I think Sony is definitely gambling with this one. You know what I'm saying? They're gambling. They're gambling. You know what I'm saying? And with this live service stuff, they're definitely gambling, right? Even though it makes them a lot of money and everything like that. But you have a lot of people that's looking at this like, okay, Sony, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But you also have to look at it from a business standpoint for them. That's what they're looking at right now. Yeah, we're still going to do our single player games and yada, 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 our high production games. But at the same time, we need these live service games because we need to cover our bottom end. So
can I just say, Marlon, they bought like, here, I'm glad you bring up the live service stuff. Yeah. They bought one studio for $3.6 billion to make maybe one live service game in the next 5 years, right? They bought one studio to do that. You see everybody behind me right here, my homies? Those are all live service games, and we haven't even talked about Blizzard yet. Like, I'm just saying, man, like that's why I think they overpaid a little bit. Like StarCraft live service game, Overwatch, 50 million units sold, live service game, Diablo, over 30 to 40 million units sold, live service game, World of Warcraft, one of the biggest MMOs ever, and then you got Call of Duty, the biggest game every year. Live service game. And then we're not even talking Forza, Halo, Gears, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, all these other games that Xbox game studios are making that are live service games. See, that's the big thing. And like, I know you're saying it's the quality of the games. Every single game up here, right here, game of the year contention every single time. Every single game from Blizzard. That's a fact. People can hate me all they want, but it is. I think Overwatch won game of the year. So that's in 2016. So the quality thing to me is like, once this Activision Blizzard thing goes off, it's not to mention, but we're not even talking Elder Scrolls. We're not even talking about these other IPs that are massive. Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like,
minus Candy Crush.
Minus Candy Crush. So that's like here. Let me go like that.
$2 million a year though. I mean,
$2 billion.
$2 billion. $2 million a day.
Yeah, 2 million a day.
insane.
Yeah,
so like,
so,
I'm just saying the
man.
next banger is Candy Crush exclusive, bitch. No,
Yeah.
Man.
I'm just saying, like, no, like that's what I'm saying. Like, and I get
Why are
it.
you
Like,
pulling her?
they're behind. That's why it's so aggressive. 10 live service games at 2026.
2016,
Like
yeah.
20. Yeah, they're
That's
trying to get
four
out
more
there.
years.
They're,
Four more
yeah,
years.
because they see it. They're like, yo, this is where we're.
They got to
and-
push. You
And I
got to
said
push.
this 2 years ago on my channel. I said I want them to do that. I want Sony to get a co-op game, try to be this, that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what they're doing. I'm like,
what
great,
they're
but
doing.
also
That's what they're doing.
don't stop making the games you're making.
Exactly.
I don't
You
think they
gotta
are. though.
expand.
No one
no.
is saying they're breaking that. They're
Oh,
not
yeah,
even
no,
saying they're
no,
just-
they're not, and that's what I love. If they stopped doing that, I think Marlon would have been ripping them. Everybody would have, but they're not. They're just putting more money into it, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, they're just building. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're just rebuilding everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because right now, the structure of what they were basing things off of like 10 years ago, 15
Even
years
5
ago.
years ago.
Even 5 years ago is completely different now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got to look at the market and you got to look at everything that's actually going on. And also on top of that, like Sony, they know that, listen, we can't go toe to toe with Microsoft, right? When it comes to money. Like, so at the end of the day, it's like, okay, what do? You know what I'm saying? How do you fight back? How do you try to stay number one? That's the key thing here. How do you stay number one? Because look at what Microsoft has more studios, right? They have over 50 plus projects apparently that's in the works right now. So you have a lot of games now. A lot of hardcore PlayStation guys, a lot of hardcore PlayStation channels, this is what they say. Well, until I see quality games in Game Pass, you got me. That's what a lot of PlayStation guys are saying. I need to see those high quality games that Sony offers in Game Pass for me to say I'm in. But like I told him, I'm like, look at Hellblade 2. Look at Horizon 5. You know what I'm saying? Horizon 5, that's a high quality game. One of the best looking. Y'all see me going crazy playing Forza Horizon 5?
in our video. We on a source video saying, look how amazing that looks.
Yeah. Even what's the name? Playgrounds tweeted at me. I had my stream up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the best looking Xbox games I've seen, and it's a racing game, but at the same time, what's that Gears DLC again? I always forget about it.
Hive Busters. That's a fucking gorgeous game.
Oh my god, one of the best looking games on Xbox right now. Hive Busters. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody needs to check that out, dude. Even it has the Series
bro.
X patch. It is beautiful. I played through that in one sitting, bro. It's so shady, actually.
Rad,
Xbox
bro.
finally got some vegetation.
By the way, that's the team that's making the
rad.
new Gears. That's the new team. Like, that's not Rod Ferguson's team. Hive Busters was made by the new team, like the people that are like in charge now. So that gets me even more excited for Gears 6 or whatever they're making.
Yeah.
Let me just catch up with these super chats. Hoggy Chen, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. So for Sony, the fan base isn't interested in live games, Marlon. It'll be interesting to see if this works. 10 games in a few years is a lot. Besides Destiny, not sure they will work on PlayStation. Release them on Xbox and PC. What do you think about live service? Come on, man. Like, that, does that hurt you? Be honest. Like, do you want to see that on PlayStation?
I mean, from a business standpoint, I understand, but like I said, if it doesn't appeal to me, then obviously I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna support it. But the Sony that I grew up on is definitely completely different. You know what I'm saying? From their heads right now, where their direction is right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're cornered right now. Sony is cornered.
So they're copying Xbox?
I wouldn't say entirely copying Xbox, but my whole thing is this: looking at Game Pass, right? Looking at Game Pass, and my whole thing is like, if Sony didn't see Game Pass as a threat, why come out with Spartacus? You know what I'm saying? That was my exactly. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you looking at that and be like, man, this could be a big threat. Like, if Microsoft figures out a way to be as high production and as high quality as Sony with their exclusives, right? What they're known for, you got a problem on your hands, big time.
Yeah.
Hence why a lot of people are saying, well, Sony is not gonna make their exclusive, their primary exclusive day and date on Spartacus. That's what a lot of people are saying. They're not going to do that. So if you're not going to do that, then what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's
You see
a
what I'm
very
saying?
that's the
they're going to do it,
$1 billion
dude.
question.
They're going
You
to
see
do
what
it.
I'm saying?
Whenever
How
do you think
are
they're gonna do
you
it?
going to compete? How
No,
is he going to
exactly.
compete?
they're not. That's the point. Like that's what everybody's saying that they're not going to do it. They don't know what they're talking about. They're going to do it. It might take a year, might take 2
Yeah.
years, it might take sooner. Because after this aggressive stuff that we're hearing, that they're going to be ultra aggressive. Like they're talking this year, people. Like they're not talking like we're going to be aggressive in 3 years. Like no,
I don't think they
they're
have a
talking about
choice.
now. No,
Yeah,
they
have a
don't.
choice.
And once these games go day and date on PC, that's when they'll open the platform, open Spartacus, and be like, oh yeah, because like I've said to people, Ubisoft Plus, I'm subscribed to it. They can compete with Game Pass because I want to play all the Ubisoft games. I love Ubisoft games. They make good big games that I like to play. Sony can compete. Go ahead, Asa.
Asa?
So just like wild speculation on my part, but I'm guessing you also think that there are no issues with Microsoft being anti-competitive with their Activision Blizzard acquisition, whilst also saying on the other hand that
Who are you asking?
Sony. I'm asking you, out of curiosity, is this? I'm assuming because this might not be your opinion, in which case you can just tell me to shut up. But I'm seeing it from a lot of people. On the one hand, you've got Activision Blizzard is not anti-competitive. There's no pressure. So like Microsoft are only third. And on the other hand, you're saying Sony now have no choice but to completely remodel their business because of what Microsoft are doing.
So what I'm trying to say is that
Both things true.
the business has changed.
Yep.
So the whole point is, the best example I could give you is movie studios had to change what they did. Netflix is competing with them. Netflix came in and said, fuck you, right? They're not sitting there going like, oh, we're doing the same thing and we're just buying out. No, they're competing. People are like, am I going to go watch a movie in the theater? Kind of, especially now with the pandemic, am I going to go spend $40 when I can just sit at home, watch a damn good movie or a damn good show with my family? They changed the entertainment value. So that's what Xbox is doing. They're changing the gaming entertainment value.
What's up, Colt?
Oh, what up,
is-
Colt?
Shut up,
The
Cole.
thing is with that though.
What up?
Yeah.
What up? Colt?
Thing with that though is the so the whole take from the FTC at the moment, and I'm not coming out on one side or the other. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what's going to happen there. But the whole take from the FTC is what they're worried about is that a company worth, like, they're not talking gaming specifically, but a company that exists in one sector spends a load of money to take over and change a different sector. And what I'm hearing from you is that that's what Microsoft are doing right now. And actually, they're probably right to step in.
Well, no, Microsoft had to change because they weren't anywhere near. They said, okay, we can't compete with Sony doing the same thing where it's $60 games.
Exactly.
Bringing out the
Clarity
same thing and the
For
same
me,
thing. Like,
just before, I know people are going to run away and think that this is my opinion now, that I don't think this deal should happen. That's not what I'm saying. For me, I don't expect Sony to follow suit and do exactly what Microsoft are doing anytime soon. I don't think they're going to put the next God of War day and date in Game Pass and day and date on PC. I don't think that the pressure is that great on them yet. It'll get there over a like a long number of years. But I'm hearing a lot of people saying that pressure is intense and they need to do it now, and I don't think so.
I don't think it's the pressure of like we're going to lose stuff. I think it's the pressure of board members looking at them going, damn.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
How did Xbox go over year like 35%, and we're only going up 12%?
Exactly.
What's the problem here, Ryan? What's going on, Jimmy? And then Jimmy's going to look at them and be like, oh, shit. Yeah.
Marlon, what do you want to say?
Like
Exactly.
That's the pressure. That's the pressure. It's all about these. Dude, first of all, we care about the games. We care about what we're going to play. We care about the developers making the game because they create some of our greatest experiences that we have in our favorite hobby. We care about them being healthy, making great games in a nice and safe manner, not to mention creatively, right? That's what we care about. What they care about, no matter what anybody says, at the top head of Microsoft, top head of Sony, top head of Nintendo, top head of whatever, they care about the freaking overhead. How much is it going to cost? And are we going to make a shit ton of money doing it? So when they see another competitor, even if they're below them, closing that gap, they're going to be like, well, how are they closing that gap? What's going on? That's going to be what's going to change. It's not the antitrust. It's not that. It's not like, oh, they're coming for us. They're going to leave PlayStation. No. It's how do you make more money?
I got a tiny bit more, and then I'll hear you on it, Marlon. So first of all, I'm bringing this up on purpose to elevate the conversation because this is more interesting to me. Now we're thinking things through, and I like it rather than just shouting over each other at Xbox and PlayStation. It's going well. The anti-competitive thing. So I don't think that there is a problem with Sony. I think actually, if there is any problem identified, it's that Google pulled out when Microsoft signed ZeniMax. I think if there is any area of threat to the deal, it's that Microsoft are scaring off those big players. So I don't think. I don't even think that Microsoft care about what's going on with Sony particularly. I've said that plenty of times when the ZeniMax one was going through. They don't see Sony as massive competition, and Sony will be absolutely fine through it. Google have run off. We've now seen that they're trying to salvage the tech from Stadia and sell it. That leaves Amazon.
One problem though. Google's notorious for their pull-out game is tough. So it's flawless. When shit doesn't go right the first year, they're like late. They're gone. Rip that shit off. We're not doing it no more. But you see, but Amazon didn't pull out. Apple didn't pull out. Tencent didn't pull out. A lot of these big companies are not pulling out. And
this
one of the biggest
exactly
ones
what I just wanted to say, though, Zorka, because you can't. I was just going to say, Microsoft will have a problem if Amazon respond negatively. If Amazon say, hang about, we're not going into this area, then I think the FTC will take note.
I don't think so. I don't think they will, because you're forgetting about Tencent.
Tencent too.
So I know you're saying the FTC and
I don't know the FTC. It's all American stuff, but
exactly. So this is what I'm trying to say. American stuff. Do you think they're going to look at an American company in Microsoft and be like, you know what? Don't compete with Tencent, who's a Chinese company. We're just going to let them do what they want to do.
Intertwined
that's a lot of politics, and I guarantee you the government's not going to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's just let Tencent handle that. They're not going to be like, there's no effing way they're going to be like that. They're going to be like, listen, man, look at what they're buying. Look at how far ahead they are of us in revenue, which is multiple tens of billions in just gaming. So we're just going to let them do that? That's what they're saying. And they're going to be like, no. And then they're like, and then the next, by the way, the number one is a Japanese-owned studio in Sony. While we're down here at third place as an American. It's very political, and not to mention Embracer Group, too. That's where I don't think FTC is going to get involved. I mean, trust me, they're going to get involved because they have to. That's after what happened with
scale of the
after that Android from Facebook went up in front of Congress to talk to people. Like after that shit happened, and that metaverse shit happened, they're going to be way more regulatory and going up against tech companies like Microsoft from doing this. But again, Microsoft is not taking over. Like even with Activision, they're still in third place in revenue.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm so heat up right now because in the show earlier today, I was talking about this guy. What's his name? Canover, whatever his name is.
Comedian.
The comedian. He don't know what the heck he's talking about because he's sitting there like Phil came out already. We're not worrying about Sony. We're not worrying about Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? What we're worrying about is Amazon and Tencent. Those are the people that Microsoft worried about. Those are the people that can bring Microsoft to their knees. You know what I'm saying? Or at least give them the time of day with money and buying this and buying that. But at the same time, on paper, at the same time, people got to understand like, Game Pass, because his whole statement was, Game Pass is bad for gamers. How the heck is it bad for gamers when it's at an insane value? You'll be an idiot to sit there and say, Game Pass is bad for gamers. Game Pass is not added value.
Modern Gaming Nation, ladies and gentlemen, has joined Team Green. It's happened. We welcome you. Welcome, Marlon.
You cannot deny that. You know what I'm saying? You cannot deny that. So for you to say, Microsoft, Sony is in trouble. Sony is fine with what they're doing right now. They'll survive. Sony's not going to survive. They're in trouble, this and that. Okay, they got money to do what they need to do to keep their fan base going. Microsoft is not worrying about them. They're worrying about having their games everywhere, play anytime, anywhere. That's their model. And that's where they're going to continue with. So for you to come out, and this crap went viral last night. I'm like, for you to come out and say that, come on, dog. Like, on what grounds? How is
so I don't agree with him. I don't agree with the guy with what he said, but at the end of the day, I can see where he's coming from. Right? I can see what he's saying, that Game Pass is going to push companies like Sony that don't have a lot of money out. And that's what Microsoft is going to try to do, is push out those people. But the funny thing is that's not what they're trying to do. Microsoft understand, and people don't understand that Microsoft's an old company. They've been around the block. They know that they got slapped with antitrust with Apple when they went under, and then they gave money to Apple to stay alive and be like, yo, don't die, because then some shit's going to happen to us, and then we're going to have to fucking break. And it's so they understand what they need to do. They have the lawyers. They have the smartest people in the world. You know, Gaz is working over there. He's a Microsoft lawyer. Look at him. Look at that face. He's helping them out. Yep. Genius. But what I'm saying is that, you know, like that stuff is going to happen. And I get what that comedian is saying, but I think he's just making up antitrust in the middle. So like the thing is that if this is antitrust, you look at other businesses around the world. So then Netflix buying up talent and buying up and people to make movies is antitrust. Apple creating Apple Plus or Amazon. Disney buying Fox was like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like hold time out. What's going on over here?
Exactly.
Them buying Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, all these other big IPs that are making them that they're flooding the market with. And that's that's the difference, right? That's where I don't see people really taking the time to think that a lot of this is competition forced. Like that's it, and that's what it does. Exactly. Like we have, like honestly, like when's the last time you can remember when you guys were younger, or before your parents when they were younger? How many IPs do we have? Like how much shit is out there? Look how much content is driven out there. Like Disney's putting $100 million into every single show. There's a lot of
pieces of the pie for everyone. That's the point.
It is.
There is, and that's why I don't. The deal will go through. I will say that now. The deal will go through.
And my whole thing is this, though, like the fact, because he also said that Nintendo. Nintendo gonna be in trouble? No. Nintendo is in a whole league by themselves. They can keep on selling their exclusives.
He did double back on that.
Look at the Switch. Over 100 million, 103, 105. It's about to pass out the PS4. Right? So Nintendo has nothing to worry about. Nintendo is going to continue to be thriving and be successful with or without Game Pass.
I do think PlayStation needs to mimic Nintendo's model.
Did you know that Nintendo legitimately? Did you know that Zelda sold more copies than there were Switch at one point?
Okay.
Like they sold like 18 million copies of like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and they had like 14 million Switches out there. So people bought the game and were like, "All right, man, when's that shit coming in?
Exactly.
Like, I can't wait." Like it's like, damn, serious?
Exactly. Cult following. So Sony and Nintendo is far from in trouble. And Microsoft, I get the whole wiping out people and everything like that, but Sony is still going to be here. Nintendo is still going to be here. Now, the big players, there you go.
Yeah, no, I actually think this is all this consolidation talk. It's actually normalizing the industry. All this stuff. If they get Square with Sony, I'll be happy because now these consoles have their own identity. For ages, from the 360 to the last gen, everything was kind of blurry with PlayStation coming up forward with the quality. But I want each platform to have its identity. I know there's a lot of room to argue against that. I think it's normalizing the industry. I think it's actually super healthy. The gaming industry is now so super healthy. Everyone throws the consolidation or consolidation. It's like without thinking about it, surface level sentiments until you look down into the details. But let me catch up with the super chats. There's so many.
I wanted to hear what after the super chat. Let's go to Asa because I want to hear. I want to hear what he has to say about all this.
Definitely. We'll go to Asa.
He has a nice fancy cup and shit. I love it.
So Magnum Visuals, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, if Sony releases all these 10 gas games on Xbox, they can potentially slow Game Pass because everybody will be busy playing all these games for free. How many of them will actually be good, though, is a big question there because there's going to be, so let's be honest, some stinkers there. Risk It for the Biscuit, thank you so much for the $8 super chat. It goes, of this entire gen, the best announcement we've had, 10 live service games. The mental gymnastics going on has been gold. Let's be honest, even the hardest core of fans have been struggling to defend that. Danny Paschal official with a $5 super chat. Bungie's a response to Activision. Even if they were talking for 6 months, they lost a lot of money and they had to make a move. That's why they overpaid.
Oh, man.
What do you want to say to that? Say it. Danny is going raw today. Hoggy Chan, I love it. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. How long will Sony hold Bungie? Bungie doesn't like staying, so when should we look at the divorce? There's a history there, but
7 years.
7. With those pay packages, they might be staying there for a lot longer. Percolator 9000, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Put that sauce away, you're getting out of control. Happy birthday, Gaz. I live on the sauce and die by it. Aim down scope ADS, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Bungie on all platforms. Xbox said nah, see ya. The thing is, I'll go into this in a bit as well. There's so much to talk about here. Andrew Wilkins, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, Sony had cameras for console first. Microsoft copied it. Sony had AR first. Microsoft copied it. Sony had a games and streaming service first. Microsoft copied it. He's right, Danny. In fact, it was PS Now. Yeah, just because it's shit doesn't mean it doesn't.
Gaikai servers.
Okay.
It's
It's kind of weird to say Gaikai. Yes, corrupt. But yeah, that's a good point. Danny, what do you want to say to that? Because he kind of countered you quite strongly there. Everyone copies everyone, though.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Let's be honest. Xbox copied PlayStation by making a games console. You could say that, arguably.
Imitation is the
exactly.
greatest form of flattery.
It is. There you go, man. Alfred Prophet, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Sony makes quality games. Top quality. I'm going to keep saying your quotes all day today. 70% watching cutscenes and 30% playing the actual game. Source. So much source. No, not really true unless, but maybe. JD, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Shout out to Zorka. I started playing Sea of Thieves with my brother, having a blast. Showing that he's a fan of Hollow Live service games. Thank you so much for Zorka's face. Huggy Chatty, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Delay Halo. In reality, Halo is already delayed. I love that. I have to read that again. Hashtag delay Halo. In reality, Halo is already delayed. People think I hate Halo, but I hate the state in which it's been released. Look at it. It's embarrassing. 343, what are you doing? Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the $10 super chat.
They should have bought Bungie. I'm just saying.
Sauce.
They should have bought Bungie, boy. I'm telling you that.
I agree with Marlon.
It just like I said, man. It's just. It don't feel right to me. It feels naked right now. I mean, if you look at Halo, is not like, okay, it did what, 20 million something players or something like that? Like,
just 20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot, but at the same time, I feel like you can't spell Halo without Bungie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just 343 is doing a great job. They're doing a phenomenal job. I think they're trying to do the best that they can, but you can't deny it, bro. Like Bungie.
Marlon, do you love Destiny?
No.
Thank you. Done. Moving on.
Well, I launched King David. You love. I don't know how. I'm going to watch IOP tomorrow. That's going to be mad. How is he going to justify Destiny going to place? Oh, shit. Anyway, Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Marlon, what's quality for you between stable performance and replay value with multiplayer and variety, or graphics with single player with no replay value? Don't forget to press X during those cutscenes. More beef against the linear QTE model. What do you want to say?
You talking to me?
Danny actually addressed you. He's saying stable performance, replay value, multiplayer games on Xbox, and you got single player one and done games. Do you agree with that?
I mean, single player one and done games. I mean, you got to go back, right? You got to always go back. Every time when you finish a game, you got to go back. Unless it all depends on the narrative and how everything is structured. But I feel like if you sometimes you play through, you never go back.
I never go back. Single player games, come on, man. PlayStation got no games if you're saying that. I'm sorry. Source. Risking for the biscuit. Thanks so much for the $3 super chat. Great day. I go home and GameOnDaily's live. Thank you so much, Riska. That's really nice of you. Andrew Wilkins again. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Gears and Halo have factually declined in quality. So how is Microsoft better at this gaming business? Well, I don't know if we can say that about the better in the gaming business bit. Rare hasn't even stepped up with the quality under Microsoft. Zulka, Sea of Thieves sucks, he says. I do think Rare need to do a lot more. Yes, Sea of Thieves kind of got a saving grace from streamers saving it, but yeah, it's not that black and white, but yeah. JDF, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Hive Busters is the best Gears since 2, in my opinion. Also, Gaz, I hope you're not playing your real birthday, which is next week. No, it's not. Methusiel, thank you so much for that $9 super chat. He goes, thanks for elevating the convo, Asa. Need that more. Lots of Xbox versus PlayStation discussion and high-fiving before that. Shut up. And yeah, it's fine. We need Asa. We need Asa. We need that. But I love the sauce. But Asa is the anti-sauce. Risk it for the biscuit. Thanks so much for the $8 super chat. Deal will definitely go through, but if it doesn't, we see Microsoft start to back away from gaming, or do we see them growing by eating smaller studios? Deal will definitely go through. If it doesn't go away, they'll go buy something else.
Yeah.
So there's the latter part of it. 100%. Nanopolymath, it'll go through. Thanks so much for the £4.50 super chat. Stadia just posted, if you hear one thing, hear this: we are working hard on Stadia and cloud gaming. They're not vacating. Oh, okay, I believe them. Huggy Channy, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. He goes, for those shout out Nano. Huggy Channy, for those worried about PlayStation, Nintendo continues to dominate the industry. They have an underpowered system that is not even able to handle third-party games. The rest of the message is missing. I'm sorry, Huggy, but that was a good point. That's a great point. Nintendo's killing it. You don't need all these third parties, but Nintendo's.
You don't have Nintendo shows you don't have to be a Microsoft. You don't have to go with that business model. You don't need to have Game Pass or buying up a bunch of publishers in order to survive. I mean, they've been tried and true since the beginning with their exclusives, and they're doing the same thing. Nintendo ain't changing nothing. They're just doing the same old thing. Look at the Switch. Look how underpowered the Switch is. You know what I'm saying?
What has Zorka done?
Over here for a sec. Oh, give it 2 seconds. I'll get that back, don't you worry. Yeah, dance for a bit, dance for a bit. It can't be back. It's not back. Now we're back. Still? Try now. This isn't ideal. Zorka needs to come back. Still nothing. Oh, you can hear me, can't you? I should probably say some things. This is my chance to talk. Let's talk about while we wait for someone to turn up. So, Colt, if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. I need a fourth person to fix this up. Let's talk about that comedian guy that was having his rant, right? So everyone's had their opinions on it, and this guy spoke some nonsense, but there were elements of truth in there. So while it's true that Microsoft are not targeting PlayStation with these acquisitions, they're not trying to kill them. That doesn't mean that PlayStation won't be collateral damage. If Microsoft's acquisitions are going to hurt Sony, they're going to hurt Sony, whether that's the point of it or not. And it's not the point of it, but it could still happen. The something. Sorry, I'm distracted trying to see if Colt turns up. The thing that I've always said is potentially a problem for Sony. So Sony's strategy, Marlon's been saying all along that exclusives are their bread and butter, but they're strategy has always been a traditional console strategy. So yeah, exclusives are their bread and butter. They bring players onto the ecosystem, but the ecosystem, being the console at the moment, is massively, massively important. So they sell these exclusives. They invest tons of money into these exclusives. They sell them, but then they can like rake in all that money because they're getting their 30%-ish on everything that goes through the platform. So this is where Game Pass is a threat to Sony. It's a threat to their model, because if it's pulling people's time and third-party play away from the platform, that's a massive amount of money that Sony are losing. You've really got to consider, everyone dismisses it and says everyone's going to do day and date games exactly the same. You've got to consider the number of executives that have come out and said, we can't do that. We can't afford to do that. The model doesn't work. The numbers don't work. We can't make this kind of AAA cinematic game and put it in a subscription service. The numbers don't work for us. And it's not just Sony that have said that. Take-Two have said that. Activision said it before they were acquired, so they obviously need to shut them now. But there's some truth to it, and I've always said the thing that is at risk from the Game Pass model, it's great for gamers, right? It is great for gamers. Oh, Zork's back. Soon other people can talk, but I'm going to leave it like this until I'm ready for them. It is great for gamers, but the thing that is at risk is that traditional Sony game. Because if they are shifting to that model, you can talk. They can hear you. Don't interrupt me. I'm talking.
Okay.
All right.
So the thing that matters, though, the thing that is at risk is that traditional Sony game that's not packed with microtransactions and all the rest of it. That is at risk, because if Sony needs to adapt their model to follow Microsoft's lead, they are going to be pushing services all the way, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like Zork has already said, multiplayer is what he's all about. For some people, those are the best games, but for some people, they still value that Sony game, and that is genuinely at risk. So if you do value that, just keep an eye. But,
Yeah.
I don't think
getting cold, guys.
Cold. We don't have a 5-man overlay, right?
No, we're
get
good. I'm back. I restarted everything. I had to go back and like restart the router and modem and everything, and so we should be good to go. Can everybody? Can they hear us now?
I think so.
I think so. They can.
Can y'all hear us?
They can hear us. They can.
Okay.
So I was reading Yudani's super chat. Sorry, Yudani. Thank you so much. He goes, we heard stuff about Bungie's ambition doing the TV stuff, and now Halo has a show. He's saying, will the game IPs further the gap between game dollars and movie dollars? And I think yes, definitely will. I think all the gents would agree with that. Sorry, I've answered that question 3 times, so I sounded deflated on that one. Dark CMF, great takes, great panel. Hit that like button. Yes, you do, even though we lost the sound. Apologies for that. Dark CMF, happy birthday, girls. $25. You donate $25 to say happy birthday. Do you know how much you've messed? And the whole chat, you weren't there earlier. The whole chat was flooding that. Well done. Well played. Carlos, thank you so much for the €5 super chat. Hi, guys. You rule, wrap that sauce. Big Marlin fan. Yeah, there you go. You have so many good sound bites, Marlin. Wrap the sauce. That's a good combo there. Look at that. Our 2 visions coming together. Jiu-Jitsu 50, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Marlon has come a very long way, and I'm really proud of him. Thumbs up to Zorka. Love the show. Yeah, man. So shout out to Marlon. And
thanks,
Marlon's always kept it real. He just wanted PlayStation to do well. It just didn't pan the way it did since the RDNA 3 thing and everything, but Marlon kept it real. You always kept it real, and that's why we love you, and that's why Sheriff loves you. He's given a $4 super chat to shout you out. Hoggy, thank you so much, Sheriff. He's your biggest fan. He always tells me, get Marlon, please get Marlon. Yeah, he is.
Shout out to Sheriff, man.
Shout out Sheriff. Hoggy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Very generous. Zorka managed to shut up Gaz entirely. Well played, sir. Well played. I don't know what kind of virus you did that you stopped all of us from being heard. Jay the Ep.
Oh, man.
Jay the Ep saying $2 Asa going solo. Asa, that's the most Asa's spoken in since we started. Asa, apologies for interrupting you there. I just wanted to catch up with all the super oh wow, I've got Hoggy's super chat as well just come in. Thank you so much for the $10 super. How much money did you make? It's now the Asa show. How much money do you make? It's so crazy. He's on so many shows. Anything Xbox does will directly affect PlayStation, but that's fine. It makes PlayStation compete for our money. Fully agreed. Movie industry had to adapt. Sony will do what's right for them. Yes, they will. And remember, they're still number one in the game. So Gaz was nailing the super chats before the stream bombed. Solid host. The panel should sing him happy birthday to make people. But I thought it was genuine praise there. What the? Don't. Oh my god, chat, you guys are mad. Oh wow, I'm gonna find Doc CMF who started this, and I will get my revenge. But thank you so much, really genuinely, for the super chats. You've been very, very generous. So Asa, unless you want to have something to add, I kind of want to move the topic on a little bit. Do you want to?
I don't barely even know where I am, guys. That was too much for me. Carry on. Move it on.
He's like, I talked for more than 45 seconds. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. Let me gather my thoughts.
This is not true. I talk a lot. I talk every day on stream for hours at a time. But right now, I'm just hoping things are working.
No, there they are. Thank you for the birthday wishes. One day it will be my birthday, and I will not tell you what it is. PlayStation is not done. More acquisitions on the way. Marlon, what do you think? This is a statement of war as well as Xbox. Keep your hands away, but we've got more coming. And I think despite PlayStation can't do the publisher level stuff, but it has, for people who don't know, I think PlayStation confirmed last year they intend to spend $18 billion in doing this kind of consolidation. So we've spent about, say, $3.6 billion. They've got quite a few studios to play with. What do you think PlayStation is going to acquire, or what do you think is most likely, and what would you like them to acquire?
Honestly, what I would like Sony to do is get somebody that's meaningful to PlayStation fans right now, that the fans been asking for years. Metal Gear, you know what I'm saying? Silent Hill, Konami, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, everybody's saying Capcom or Square Enix or whatever the case may be, but I know if they get Square Enix, right? If that was a possibility for them to do that and they end up getting it, that would be huge. But if you look at the hearts of PlayStation fans, what they're asking for obviously SOCOM, and they're asking for Silent Hill, and they're asking for Metal Gear, Castlevania, and all those IPs that Konami have can add insane value for the hardcore fans and the casual fans as well. So if I was Sony, if I was Jim Ryan and whatnot, I would say, hey, let's get Konami. That would be my next move.
That would be huge. And man, that's a great answer.
That's a nuke right there.
That's a nuke. That's a nuke. And I think they'll be priced very well, because Konami has been messing about with pachinko machines for ages. Their IPs, they've been sat on not doing anything. So their value, they would find it hard to inflate their cost in this very seller's market. So if they buy... And Xbox fans, let's be honest, on this show, we have even the notion of... I know Kojima's not there, but even the notion of Metal Gear working on Xbox and Kojima working to bring that together has got us salivating. Many of Xbox fans doing the same. Konami coming to PlayStation would be a megaton. In fact, I think it would be a great synergy between they have a history there. That's organic, in my opinion.
Because Konami, they don't... Konami did... I mean, we're seeing after Kojima left, right? I mean,
it was a mess.
Metal Gear's a disaster. Metal Gear Rising, really? Like, it's obviously... So it's just like Konami, they're just in it for the money. They don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you're not going to really do anything solid with your IPs, bro, come on, bro. Give it to Sony. Let Sony. I think Sony would be
Do you know how many?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your stuff. My bad.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you know how many copies Silent Hill has sold all together? All games, every single Silent Hill put together.
Silent Hill, and we haven't had a Silent game in years.
So I'm just saying, how popular is it? Do you know how many they've sold?
No.
They've sold about 8 million.
Okay.
It's
a long time ago.
From 20. So the Silent Hills, Silent Hill 1, 2, 3 have about 5. and then sales just started. Total sales went down to like 6.9. I'm looking at the numbers right now. This is why there hasn't been another site. Look at the little sunspot.
What is that?
The sunspot, my current, because
That was my screen. I was about to scratch it off.
I'm trying. You're like it's on your lip. No, it's so no. What I'm saying is that Silent Hill, it's a very. You want to talk about niche? That's a very niche market.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
That's
horror
one,
games.
but-
No, I'm just saying it's one. Konami, I'm saying, sorry, I troubleshooted. So now I went crazy because I was like, what the hell? Everybody sounds like an Autobot. And I fixed it. But like, that is a very niche thing to get. And it'd be very expensive for them to get it. Not to mention Metal Gear doesn't have.
Expensive.
Not to mention Metal Gear doesn't have its father making it.
I get that.
Let me fix the sunspot real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead,
Yeah.
Marlon.
Don't turn-
Before you
yeah,
go, though,
just turn off the camera.
just so you know, troubleshooting doesn't have to be turn your router off and on again. Next time.
Literally, are you really coming at me? That's not what I. And first of all, that's not what I did. So
You caused me physical pain.
no, I'll call you more if you keep talking shit here.
I love it, Asa. No, yeah, go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, Marlon, I don't agree with Zorka about that. If he says it's really expensive, I think it will actually be cheap. That's why I'm saying compared to all the other deals.
Yeah.
And who cares about sales if the quality's there? Top quality. I love your quote.
The
But
thing
sorry, go ahead.
is, the thing is that I look at is this, right? Like, it's a desire right now for a lot of PlayStation fans.
Desire.
Like, they want the legacy titles. You know, they want Sony to reboot stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even though, like I said, the sales back then, but you got to look at remakes and how successful that has been. Look at Capcom with the Resident Evil stuff, right? And then we see the snowball effect started from there. But PlayStation fans, they want those legacy games. I mean, you're not giving them backwards compatibility fully, so you got to make that up in some type of way. People want SOCOM. You know, if you look at the sales numbers for SOCOM, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? So, but it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense because I'm telling you, if Sony comes out tomorrow and be like, hey, Silent Hill coming out, Metal Gear, we got Metal Gear, and man, people will go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
100%. They'll people lose their minds.
Yeah, they'll lose their
Without
mind.
Kojima, though, is that Metal Gear? Metal Gear. Asa, we can't hear you, Zorka. Your troubleshooting is giving me a peptic
Would you
ulcer.
say? My bad, because I muted the mic when I got up. I didn't want to disturb you. Would you say that Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, those IPs, are they worth $11 billion to you?
11 billion?
That's how much Konami's worth right now. They're worth $5 billion. So you got to put the increase of what, because you don't buy companies for what they're worth.
Yeah,
Are they worth
40%, 30% more, right? Yeah.
Like about 50s.
50.
Especially gaming now, we're pushing 60% evaluation.
I don't think so.
I don't see Jim Ryan doing that.
Jim Ryan's bad.
I don't see Jim Ryan doing that. So from a business standpoint,
Marlon's like, ugh.
See, now that you throw Jim in there, you know, it's like he's like, but depending on, okay, if Kojima is behind it, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess with as far as Metal Gear goes, because people have been wanting like MGS, the original MGS, to be remade and things of that nature. But at the same time, now that you put that $11 billion up there, like, that's the problem right there. And then Jim, him being more business oriented than anything else, he probably look at it and like, nah, you know what? We ain't even going fool with it. You know what I'm saying? We're not.
Yeah.
That's just too much. But you never know. You never know.
Well,
right
you never
now,
know.
the
You never know.
demand is there. Yeah.
And those
Just don't
remakes
know.
you're talking about, like Resident Evil,
Yeah.
Capcom put a lot of money in their engine. They put a lot of money in developing that
That
stuff,
RE
and
engine,
it's really good. Like those
Yeah.
remakes are top notch. And then not to mention, they iterated on it with Village and Biohazard and stuff like that. They pushed the franchise forward while also going back and respecting the history. Like that's expensive, but it was worthwhile because they made a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
Resident Evil to me has a way bigger name than Silent Hill. Way bigger name. I mean, it's almost as if Silent Hill was abandoned.
I think there's a
Out of
value in
troll,
bringing it
but-
back. But we'll move on for that. B-Rums, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Love the show. Just want to say how uneducated people sounded using the word organic just because someone slapped it onto something at the grocery store doesn't change the fact that it's natural. Yeah, fine. Yeah, let's be honest. We called it out. Lots of people called it out, and it's stupid. And Bungie literally craps on that whole point. Jim Ryan, come on, man. I don't mean it to be. Anyway, Jim, we'll talk. Huggy Channy, thanks so much. We'll talk. He'll be like, "Oh, get away from me." There's more chance of Jason Schreier talking to me. Huggy Channy, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. I agree with Marlon. Konami's a great fit. Wouldn't it be a big hit? It wouldn't be a big hit. Maybe 4 to 5 billion if they spent 3.6 on Bungie. This is a good deal. Konami has other businesses that PlayStation wouldn't buy, so not $11 billion. And Hoggy knows his stuff. And I was thinking that you could definitely partition your pachinko side and do this, because Sega did that. Sega have done that. They separated Sega Sammy, separated the pachinko, whatever, the gambling side, and the gaming division. So there could be conversations to be had.
Sony can just focus on the gaming division, buying the gaming division and the IPs, and then leave the other, they can do that. I mean,
people are calling me a fraud because they're like, they're not going to buy all of Konami, they're just going to buy the IPs. Congratulations, you played yourself. Because who the hell are they going to have make those games? They're going to take away from their first party to make a Silent Hill? So
No.
if you buy the IP, I get it. Like, get the IP if you can get it. But you still need a studio to make it, right? Look at Xbox learned the hard way. Like they did. They learned. They're building the initiative. They're building out playground games with a whole new AAA studio. And it's taking them years to do that, to the point they had to go to Crystal Dynamics and be like, we just need manpower. Like Obsidian Entertainment said that a studio or a publisher wanted to buy them to put them on a game because it's just hard to find people to make games right now. The talent is at an all-time high. Premium
Talent is needed bad.
So like, if you buy an IP, congratulations, you're going to look at an IP in your office and be like, so we paid that for what? So we're going to take a big studio off of a big franchise that's established and put them on there.
See that?
I mean,
you got one garbage guy. You got one garbage. I would say
Blue Point.
Blue Point. They're the cleanup guys. You know what I'm saying? They're the cleanup guys. They're there for the remakes and You know what I'm saying? So you have those.
But they're working on a new IP, aren't they? They announced what's they
just like
What's the
Microsoft did with Age of Empires 4, you have a good IP and you get a third-party studio in to make it. So you buy Silent Hill and you say, "Hey, Bloober Team, you make this kind of game."
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah,
there's options. There's options if they want that IP.
Yeah, you got options. Yeah, you can outsource stuff.
Yeah. There's no definitive yes or no.
Age of Empires 4.
Relic. Sega owned Relic, and Relic made it.
Yes.
And you liked Age of Empires, so don't even...
But the developers, it worked in tandem with who?
Me.
World's Edge, a Microsoft first-party studio dedicated to.
I mean, they worked in tandem, but then someone else has done it. The point is, there's lots of avenues to do that.
I know there's lots of avenues, but again, it's expensive. And then, not to mention, Relic Entertainment's working on Company of Heroes 3. So, and then, not to mention, Relic's also working on Warhammer Total War. So they might have taken some people, but Microsoft still needed to make their own studio to make it. They needed to get their own talent to help make that game. And that's what they did with the initiative. They have about 60, 70 people to get the core mechanic gameplay loop down, program it, which took them 3 to 4 years to do. So if they buy an IP, Sony does, that's all great. Cool. Buy an IP. That's it. That's probably the most valuable thing next to talent making those games is IPs right now.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I get that there's different avenues to go around there, but World's Edge is run by Shannon what was her name? I think it's Shannon Loftus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's running that studio, and they're building it to make RTS games.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's lots of ways the falafel can cook, but it's great points. They're great. Both of you, all of you, everyone apart from me, because I don't make any good points. I'm acknowledging that. Not that my acknowledgement means anything. Great points either way. It can go anywhere. You can argue for and against it. And I agree with Marlon. I think Konami, and I think there's great synergy between the two, and I think it'd be healthy for the industry.
Yeah.
Just got to read, just like Amit's just pulled you up on that. Like, there's only one way to cook falafel, guys. Your analogy was terrible.
Okay, terrible analogy.
I think the next one is WB.
But that's for Microsoft though. Everybody
that's Microsoft money.
Everybody wants Microsoft to buy WB.
I know everybody wants them to buy them, but I think it's up in the air.
Sony can afford it,
dude. One of the biggest times PS4 sold the best is when they had that deal with Batman Arkham Knight, and that console sold like crazy. They had stuff on there, and they had a partnership, and it came out in summer and fucking was fire. So everybody I know had the Batman Arkham PS4 back then, and that is
not even having it. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I didn't make that association.
Listen, I'm just saying. Not to mention, they're not going to be costing a crazy amount of money. They have very talented.
How much are they? How much?
I would say to get those studios, maybe not the. I don't know about the IPs, but get those just the talent in general. You're looking at way less than 10 bill, dude. Like, and that's what Sony has to play with. So I think, listen. Hey, that's just listen. This is all bullshit. I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm just saying. From what I've looked at, when you look at things that happen in trends, I said this in my video yesterday. Activision permanently postponed Diablo 2, Overwatch 2, or Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. They said it's indefinitely delayed. Boom, acquisition. Boom, acquisition. Warner Brothers has been so damn quiet. They just delayed Suicide Squad. They haven't shown shit. They're not talking at all. Nobody's hearing anything about Warner Brother games whatsoever, except after the show, they showed what they were working on to show hype. And I think they're driving up their price with shit like that. So now we're sitting here
Smart move.
Now we're sitting here looking for 2 years now. 2 years now, it's been like hey,
what's going on with this?
What's going on? Like, people for 2 years were like, Warner Brothers is going to buy or they're going to sell something.
So they're going to be bought. Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, so
I think
we heard the whole AT&T situation at first, and then we didn't hear anything else after that. But I don't know. Everybody wants WB to be with Microsoft. Like, that's what. And
I think that's what the people were saying is coming, and there was some noise there. But
or maybe they're saying with what Jeff Keighley said, they're like, well, who's to say wasn't already in motion beforehand, and then Microsoft just shocks them with that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But this whole EA and Sony. I don't know. I don't know about EA and Sony.
Sony can't afford that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what everybody's saying.
EA would buy them. Like, I don't know. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
It's just EA and Sony. Nah, I don't.
No, that's not happening. I'll be shocked if that happened.
I mean, they might just buy studios. They might just buy studios, right? They might not buy publishers, or so they might just buy like one studio here, another studio there, kind of like they did last year, right? They bought multiple studios. So Sony might just be doing that to kind of like pick and choose what they can get, because it's what you're given, right? It's what you can buy. And plus there needs to be two to tango. And for me, I think that Warner Brothers is kind of there to tango, right? Like they're ready to dance. And I think that if the IPs, let's be real, Warner Brothers did the best thing ever. They didn't sell 2 years ago. Like if they sold 2 years ago, if they sold 2 years ago for $4 billion, dude, people would be like freaking dancing in the streets, like, damn, we ripped them the hell off. That's Now it's like with the IPs, with the studios, it's
it adds up. Yeah.
It's just definitely. Yeah. Crazy. I mean, it's very exciting. Like, there's so much. And Jeff Keighley says he knows, he speaks to people. Of course he does. Loads of people in final stages of negotiations. So this year is going to be. This year is going to be next week. Yeah. Could be next month. It's a mad year.
January was the greatest month in gaming of all times.
I mean, man.
Activision, Bungie in the same month.
Zynga too.
Zynga, that's 3. I'm not even done. Like, I mean, good God, dude.
This is a game-changing year for what happens this year. What's happened already in January is going to change the gaming landscape for the foreseeable future. You cannot downplay. And one thing you need to be mindful of, we're gamers here, all of us, right? Because we're in the core gaming space. But it's gaming that's leading the lead into things like whatever these big corporates are talking about, metaverse. Like Microsoft's never spent that much money.
It's insane.
The social changes, and we're witnessing that.
Yeah.
It's insane. Our hobby is the best in the world. Let's be honest, we love our hobby. But to see that change socially, people are talking to me now.
Yeah.
Like, all the filthy casuals are like, hey, what's happening with COD? I saw something with Xbox. I'm like, it's more than that. What's the metaverse?
The filthy casuals. They're like, what's happening with COD? I don't know. Do you even play games? Get out of my face, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, shut up. Stop asking me about COD.
Zonker, I got something for you. Like, I want your opinion on this. Like, and I was trying to tell people this, but they were trying to crucify me. But I was saying, like, because they were saying, well, COD is going to remain the same way, which in talks right now in Activision, like, they're saying, hey, we should, skip the yearly thing for COD, which I think will help. But in the future, do you think that COD would be with Microsoft in the future, right? That COD would just be able to be a better game, like, as far as like quality and maybe, I don't know, a better like interactive experience for people than
innovative as well.
Yeah,
I would
innovative.
Say, I would say that the people making COD at Activision, because they're separate from like Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
So I would say the people making COD Activision, I think it's like, Activision has like 12 AAA studios just pumping out COD games, support studios, stuff like that. Time will tell to me, because one, if they do stop that yearly thing, I think that's going to help COD, because it helped to me. I know people are hating Assassin's Creed, but I love Assassin's Creed now. I love it. I think I loved it before, but now it's like even better for me, because they're taking those years off. They rebuilt stuff, and I think they need to do that in COD. And I think that Phil Spencer has said, like, man, we have so many studios there that it's like, come on, like, let them do whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
Like, let them be creative. Like, don't get me wrong, I think they're going to go to each studio and be like, do you want to make Call of Duty? Kind of like what they did with the Coalition, who are the Black Tusk. They went up and they're like, you have an option. You can make whatever you want, or you can make Gears of War. And if you do choose Gears of War, that's going to be what you're going to be making. You're going to be the Gears of War franchise. And that's what they did. They were like, all right, they had an internal debate, did it. I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they're going to go to all those studios and be like, do you want to make COD? Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. Cool. You're not gonna have, every year we got to pump this out. You're gonna have 2 to 3 years to make this, and they're gonna pick about 2 to 3 studios to do that, and then give them the time. And every other year they'll bring out a COD, while also having that studio that's like basically making Warzone. Yeah. Because Warzone's where the money's being made. Like, Warzone's making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like, you just keep making Warzone.
Live service. There you
make
go.
That live service game.
That live service money.
And you see, Sony. That's why I said keep telling people, like, Sony about to fall out. No, because Warzone, the next Warzone is gonna be on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Number 2.
So, I mean, there you go, and that's a cash cow live service game. So I mean,
and that's why it's interesting, though, isn't it, Marlon? That both Microsoft and Sony, PlayStation and Xbox, they're big live service games, Bungie, and whatever IPs they work out in the future, and Warzone. These big, they're all staying multi-plat. You can't ignore the multi-plat money.
Apex is at
Apex
the top
Legends
now. Apex
Legends is better than Halo.
Apex
no, you know what?
Killing it.
You know what? Apex Legends is killing it. Apex Legends has like over 100 million people.
Oh
like,
my god!
Like that game is freak. And I played with the guys.
It's more
before.
than Warzone right now,
bro. It's Apex. It's really fun. But to me, I think we're asking the wrong question. I think Marlon, that you asked a good question, but I think it needs to be a little altered.
Yes.
To me, I don't think it's. Because the reason why Activision went there supposedly was because, hey, man, we're just basically pumping out. They went to Microsoft because we're just pumping out Call of Duty. We don't even know what to do with the IP anymore. We don't know what to do. Like, we're just kind of like just flooding this market with this game. Yeah. I think it's not where's Call of Duty going to go or what they're going to do with Call of Duty. To me, I'm wondering, what the fuck's the next game? Like, what's the new game that Infinity Ward? The most talented. What's Sledgehammer? What's these people going to make? Because when you look at EA, they weren't like, yo, we need to make Titanfall 3. They were like, nah, take Titanfall 3 space, pivot, and then go to Apex Legends, which I don't care what anybody says. I love Apex Legends. I have over like 800 hours in that game.
Wow.
And so like I when I play games, I play games.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Apex Legends felt great, launched great, and that's the whole point of what they're going to do. I want to see what the next game Activision's going to make or Xbox is going to make with them. That's where that money is going to be.
Oh boy.
And then that was a separate topic, and so we might as well reach on that now. So for people who don't know in chat, other than the factual reports of Apex Legends being better than Halo, Infinity Ward are working on a new Call of Duty, obviously, but this one's slightly different because they, and I'm quoting it, this was part of their fourth quarter 2021 financial results, whatever, blah 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 announcement. The team is working on one of the most on the most ambitious plan in franchise history, with industry-leading innovation and broadly appealing franchise settings. Marketing, or is that something to it? But what add to that, it says studio expansion has continued to add development resources worldwide as plans continue for ongoing live operations and new unannounced titles in the COD universe. So Infinity Ward already gearing up with that Microsoft money. I'm not playing. Apex is great.
Apex is good, and I'm gonna give you a quote. Like this one, the way I'm trying to say it, the new IP. People are like, Zalker's like, F COD, I want a new IP. Tom Brady was asked, like, and I'm not, this is a sports analogy, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tom Brady, he's not my favorite player. He's cool and all. He had all his rings, whatever, at a party, right? When they got their new ceremony, and they asked him, "Oh, which one was your favorite Super Bowl?" And he goes, and he said, "The next one." That's that mentality is what you need when you're gonna they got COD. Cool, COD will sell like crazy. Yeah, but you need to go for the next one, like the next Overwatch that sold 50 million units. The next Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege has over 80 million people playing it.
Insane.
So that's what we're saying is like, don't just look at like what's there now. I'm thinking about what the fuck's next. Yeah, because there's really talented people at Infinity Ward, Raven Studio. There's a lot at Treyarch. There's a lot of fucking talented people there. Let them do something different.
Do something different. Yeah, I think the ice needs to break, bro, for COD, because bro, it's over 20 something years, bro. Like, you need to break the ice. Give us something different.
Even if it's biannual, that will break the ice. I think.
Yeah, something. Because what was that COD game? The one where they were running on the wall. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Advanced Warfare.
I thought that was Infinite War or whatever. Infinity.
Was it?
I forgot who did Advanced Warfare. I forgot.
I think it was Treyarch.
Was it Treyarch? Okay.
No. It might have been Infinity Ward actually, and then Treyarch did the Black Ops that was also set in the future. Black Ops 3, maybe. Yeah. But let me know. Sledgehammer. Someone says.
Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software, and High Noon Studios made Advanced Warfare, but I think you're talking about COD Infinite, the space one.
Yeah.
That was great.
They were running on the wall and stuff like that.
That's Infinity Ward.
Oh, that's Infinity Ward. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess that was their way of trying to do something different with COD. But it's like, bro, that's that Titanfall stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's been. Yeah, like, I need to see something completely different for COD. I'm tired of the boots on the ground, the World War II. I mean, how many World War IIs are you gonna do?
No more war. I know what COD needs, but it needs to be ultra, like, okay, the game engine needs to whatever. Ultra realistic bullets, like more impactful. That's the next step. Like really close CQC battles with proper physics. Better take out. If you look about it, think about it. Video games now, guns don't actually come out of the barrel of the gun. They come out from your player's eyes. Gameplay mechanics need to change so the bullets are coming out there. I know there's challenges in there, but there are some niche games in PC space doing that already. That kind of hard hitting combat is better. I know what you mean, Marlon. I can talk about this all day. If I had my own show, I'd just blabber on about it for a while. But you're right. Yeah. It needs to break the ice, Marlon. And I know why you asked that question. And a lot of people are hoping COD gets out of this annual bloody machine and just breathes, because there's a lot of talent there.
And you can make. I mean, I think it would just, because what will happen is the desire would rise even more. Like, man, dang, like I miss COD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like when they get it, it's like, oh my God, it's wow, they did just blow me up. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. When you notice, when they pull away from that yearly thing and they start doing every 2 or 3 years, look at Valhalla. I think Valhalla really break the ice. You know what I'm saying? And now Assassin's Creed is good again, or at least decent again for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
People hate Assassin. Like the people that loved Assassin's Creed before, they hate it, bro. They're like, it's not an Assassin. I'm like, bro. I'm like, shut up. Like, just enjoy the game. It's a beautiful game. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I was talking about the COD. But yeah, let me shout out to the Super Chats. Gaming Forte, thank you so much for the $5 Super Chat. He was on our show last week. What a legend. Thank you so much. You don't do that. Shout out to homie Zorka87. Nice to see you on the show. Gaz, that Source video was great. Keep it up. Thank you so much.
What up, Forte?
Forte is a G. Lord Nater, thank you so much for the $5 Super Chat. Sony can ask Blue Box to do Silent Hills. Marlon was already ahead of the game saying that, and that's a great shout. Yeah, that'd be a great shout. I hope, I know, for competition's sake, I hope Konami and Sony can do something, because that would be brilliant for the industry. Can you imagine this is bringing back to the East versus West beef, because guys, why are you so always acrimonious, and why do you thrive on conflict? But it's competition. I love it. And also I love the source. Alfred Prophet, thanks so much for the $10 super chat again. It was very nice of you guys. Look at the net worth of Sony. 152 billion net worth 2022. Microsoft is $2.5 trillion. Sony doesn't even want that money war. It can't. It's not even in the space.
And if you really want to be, arrogant, you could say, well, right now in the bank, as far as like money to spend on buying more studios or whatever, they got $63 billion, almost what Sony is even worth. So if they wanted to buy Sony,
if they went there, people were like, they're gonna buy Sony. I'm like, that's when the DOJ is gonna be like, excuse me.
Nope. Hold on one second. You're gonna be like, what's her name, Judge Amy?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, no, dude.
Time on that one.
You Amy me Judge Judy, bro?
Yeah.
I was like, who the hell is Amy?
Yeah, Judge Judy,
Judge Amy.
I'm out.
So you're talking about Judge Judy the whole time. Gunstar, thanks so much for the £10 super chat. Good evening, Zorka's eyebrow. Can't stop by it tonight, sadly. My elderly neighbor died, so I have to steal stuff from a garden under the cover of night. Love you all. Okay, Gunstar, thanks for incriminating yourself and stealing your dead neighbor's plants. So
is it stealing if they're dead?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Don't go do that, people.
Yes, it is. Please chat. Don't steal from dead person in the state.
You're kind of sketchy, bro. I don't know what the fuck. Like, Asa said some stuff. I'm like, all right, Asa, you creep me out, man. I'm joking.
Capcom was in the limelight because a lot of people are saying Sony should buy it.
I can't, bro.
Yeah, no, this has been messy. This has been the most messiest show because we're having a lot of fun. There's so much news going down. We talked about Capcom and the prospect of Sony buying it, but Saudi Arabia has bought $1 billion chunk of Capcom and Nexon, and those stakes are just 5% of both, so it's like, how much money does it actually get? So a lot of this speculative.
Saudi Arabia
as well.
invested in some other stuff like a year or two ago that didn't pan out well for them.
Yeah. They've been doing stuff like that as well. They've been making money and not doing much stuff like with Live Nation and stuff, events and stuff. So MBS is trying to change the game, but I'm not going to say anything because you're going to Khashoggi me. Who should Microsoft purchase next? Is a question that I had, but again, I need to move away from that because a lot of speculation. There's so much here. I want to talk about some of the things that we had this week. Gran Turismo 7, is that any good? Because I know, Marlon, I want to really get your impressions on this, right? A lot of publications have been very positive. So Games Radar, which I will say, I always had a slant for Gran Turismo, I said Gran Turismo goes further than I ever thought possible in a racing game, and Eurogamer are also saying it has the best weather implementation in a driving game yet. Lots of positives. A lot of fans are positive, but there was also some stuff like, in trailers, by the way, in the replay mode is only the only mode where you can get ray tracing. Otherwise, you can't get ray tracing. So there was the talk about that. There's controversy about that. Lack of sense of speed. But generally, the game looks really good. Look, for what is a cross-gen game, could this get? What are your thoughts on this, Marlon? And do you think Gran Turismo 7 could dethrone Forza from the racing crown?
Okay. Well, you got to look at it this way. You got real driving simulation, and then you have arcade. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, like Gran Turismo, they have their following, right? They have their cult following for years. I'm a huge Gran Turismo fan. When I saw the state of play, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see more gameplay. I wanted to see out of the cockpit and more on the outside of the car, like actual gameplay and stuff like that. And so we didn't get that. We get a lot of replays and a lot of like, you know, B-rolls and things of that nature. And I'm like, that's not, you need to show gameplay is king. Yeah, I get it. The visuals, car games are always going to be the best looking thing on your console, right? Because that's just how it is. It's just a showpiece. You know what I'm saying? And the next Forza game, like Forza Motorsport, right? That's coming out, I think sometime this year. That's going to be a showpiece for the Series X. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like I was looking at it and I was looking at some of the cars, and then the last car at the end, it looked pixelated on like the logo and stuff. And I'm like, why does it look like that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, obviously the game's coming out. About a little under a month now before the game comes out, so they got a little bit of time to like put some finishing touches here and there. But as far as Dethrone and Forza, I don't know. I don't really, because Forza, man, I mean, Forza has grown, especially the Forza Horizon series has grown tremendously. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
take the motorsport element, because obviously that's an arcade race, so you can't really compare the two.
You can't really compare the two. Yeah.
Do you agree that Forza has? Because someone in chat says this, I find it hard to argue otherwise. But well, I argued that chat's point was like Forza was never king, but I think Forza dethroned Gran Turismo quite easily and quite some time ago. What's your thought on a non-arcade, the sim-based races, Forza Motorsport series versus Gran Turismo?
See, now this next Forza game, man, from everything that I was reading up on it, man, they're going all out.
It's a next-gen only Forza game.
Yeah, ray tracing audio, like what they did with Horizon 5, everything. But one thing I can say about Gran Turismo, like, with sport, you look at sport and you look at Gran Turismo 7, it's like, I don't really see the drastic change. Like, it wasn't like a huge leap forward, if that makes any sense. So it's like, but I think from the last Forza Motorsport game that we had on Xbox, compared to this one that's coming out, man, because it's next gen only.
Yeah. New engine, next gen only.
Yeah, Gran Turismo might have a little, I mean, as far as realism and how the cars drive and behave, and obviously we got to see how, you know, the cars handle and how they feel. And one advantage that Sony has is obviously the dual sense, because they did put emphasis on braking and accelerating and things of that nature. More of like the realism.
Important for racing.
You know,
got to brake, got to accelerate.
Yeah, and you feel that in the controller. So
just like a real steering, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's a controller, bro. I don't pull a trigger when I drive.
It's not VR though.
What are we doing?
I think VR is.
Let me go on.
Go ahead.
No, you finish your point.
Okay. Yeah, but like, with the racing wellness, if you got $900, be my guest. Go ahead and buy the licensed $900. If you're a car enthusiast, then by all means, spend that $900 for that Gran Turismo 7 steering wheel. But for that person who still really want to feel some sort of realism, right? The DualSense, right? You definitely feel it. And hydroplaning and the weather and I like what they're doing with the weather and how the cars
Eurogamer do too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely a step above sport. But this next Forza game,
It's a
yeah.
based on what they're saying, they really are. They took it from annual, whatever, biannual, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And new engine, next gen only. They're talking about realism a lot.
Yes.
I think Gran Turismo is gonna
be in some trouble. Be in some trouble because remember,
it might be a good game, but comparatively, yeah.
Remember, this is one of the main reasons why Jim Ryan is always being in question, because they say one thing, and then he don't keep his word, right? So the whole thing was Gran Turismo 7 was supposed to be PS5 only. Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah. 100%.
But all of a sudden, oh, it's cross-gen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's nothing wrong with cross-gen, but it's like people want to see more realism and they want better frame rate and all. Look at Dying Light. 1080p 60, bro. Really? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, Gran Turismo is always going to be Gran Turismo. It's always going to be a very
big selling title. It's going to do well.
It's going to do well. You know what I'm saying? But Forza, this next Forza game, man, it's going to be tough. I
think Forza's set to, unless it flops, you never know with these things. But I think the game is going to be something special. Asa, sorry, you.
I was just going to say. So up until this state of play, every time we talked about Gran Turismo 7, I've said that it looks like a bit of a disaster, and that Turn 10 have an open goal because the early showings of Gran Turismo 7 were unimpressive. The state of play that they held actually pretty much changed my mind. I think it's looking really good. That's not to say that I'm saying it's going to be better than the next Forza Motorsport, but it is not an open goal. Turn 10 are going to need to bring their A game and deliver something special, because
they have to.
Yeah, this is Gran Turismo looking like it's returned to form, and it's not for everyone. It's definitely not going to dethrone Forza Horizon 5 because they're very different games. But if you talk about the motorsport versus Gran Turismo conversation, a lot of people were already on the side of Gran Turismo Sport in the competitive high end. It was a smaller game, but a lot of people preferred the driving in it. Whereas Forza Motorsport 7 was received a little more mixed in that sense. It was a bigger game. But once you got into the multiplayer competitive side, Gran Turismo Sport really took the competitive side seriously with the systems that it put in place. So it was already a little mixed on that. I thought Gran Turismo 7 was looking poor. Now it looks good. Turn 10 are going to have to do a lot to beat it, and that's not to say they can't, because Turn 10 are a phenomenal studio as well. So they bring their next gen only Forza Motorsport 8. Hopefully it'll blow us away.
That's gonna be
End result, best one of the two is going to be Gran Turismo 7, because like you said, it's going to support VR, and it's the best way to race. Sod the rest of it. Gran Turismo 7 in VR, Turn 10 cannot beat that without delivering VR for people that are into that, which is not most people, I acknowledge.
It's more, but VR is more so niche because a lot of people just don't like it. But at the same time, the option is there. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said before, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough fight because I mean, I'm telling you right now, like you said, Turn 10, very talented studio, all right, and everything with realism and everything that they're talking about with this next Forza game.
Man. It's got my money's on Forza, but I will say VR. What's your money on?
Which is Zaka?
So for me,
Toddler.
I'm not a big motorsport or simulator drive racing guy. I don't really care for them, honestly. I don't play them. I never even before when Gran Turismo was at an all-time high with like 2, 3, 4 or the other ones that came out.
Those.
Like I never. Amazing. A lot of my friends like them. I didn't really care for them. I'd rather play like a Mario Kart. I don't know. I like arcadey games. You know what I'm saying? Like this is why Forza. Yeah, exactly. This is why Forza Horizon 5. 4, 3, and then like all those expansions they had. They're my favorite. I love those because they're arcadey, they're fun. I love the open world. Now I will say that I am looking forward extremely to what Forza Motorsport is doing, the new one, because all those assets that Turn 10 uses, they give it to the Horizon team. So whatever assets we see, that Horizon team uses them. So all they got to worry about is building the races, building the cars on their stuff, making it more arcadey, and then building the world. While all those car assets and those physics are used by Turn 10, they just take them because they work together in tandem.
Oh, you see that?
So Turn 10 is like the rock star. Like they are the freaking, and they were, no matter what anybody says, Turn 10 and all these games, the Forza games, were built to take on Gran Turismo. They were built to do that because racing is big. Like we're at 18 million people playing Forza Horizon 5. Like,
man, it's insane, bro.
so they
It's
are the
insane.
king, and I want to see Gran Turismo do good because it's just going to drive Turn 10 to do better.
Yeah, it's the godfather of racing simulator. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because I mean, Gran Turismo was there before Forza, so so it's just naturally speaking, you want Gran Turismo to continue to thrive and continue to keep going. But man, don't sleep on Turn 10. Don't sleep on them. Yep.
I think that answer, like, that's very interesting. The two races potentially this year could be going head to head. So, yeah, I'll be honest with that's a great point that you mentioned, Marlon, that I didn't realize they didn't actually show non-cockpit gameplay footage. So that's I want to see. And I was looking at some of the cockpit footage. Sorry, I know it's not ray trace reflections, but I was watching whatever the screen space reflections were. They were all really juddery. You know, the trees being reflected weird, whereas Forza Horizon 5 did it better. I was like, well, it's a cross-gen game, but still, I think my money's on Forza
Even if a cross-gen game, Forza Horizon 5 was one of the best-looking games we've ever seen.
Yeah,
like it was cross-gen, and like that game looked insane. Like in my review, and I'm not even talking about like people are like, oh, you played it with your 3090. I'm like, yeah, I did, and my Series X. And in my review, I literally said at the beginning of my review, go through it. I switch between PC and Xbox Series X captured footage. Try to tell the difference to me, and that's what I said to them. Try to tell the difference, because that was one of the first games I played where I was like, oh crap, this is really nice. Like this looks really different. Like I mean, it looks really the same. Like it's beautiful, and that's something that's a testament to Playground Games and optimizing their games flawlessly. Right? That's why they get paid the big bucks, and that's what I want to see. I want to see optimization from the PS4 to the PS5. And then when they bring it to PC, because they will, I want to see optimization on that.
2 years.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be sooner. I think Sony's going to start doing it sooner. But overall, the state of play, I wasn't really interested in it because I don't care for simulations. I don't care for the simulation, right?
Yeah, I mean, each their own. But
that's why I'm not talking about it a lot. I just wanted to tell about the Forza Horizon.
That's great points, though. It's great points, especially about the cross-gen fact. That's a fact.
It is.
Yeah, that's interesting. Udani, thanks so much for the $2 super check. Saudi Arabia, me. So what is Kazakhstan going to invest in? What? More sauce and lots of condiments. Lord Nathan.
Oh my God, boy.
And the sauce is real. Lord Nathan, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Forza uses rumbles on trigger since Forza Motorsport 5, and it pissed me off when a race game didn't use it. And I'm a big racing fan and of trigger response. So, yeah, fair enough. Shabs Inevitable, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Because I had to choose PC over Xbox for Dying Light. I need that ray tracing at 60 FPS, ambient occlusion, and GI.
You're not the first one to say that.
You're gonna wait on that sauce, boy.
Listen, a lot of people have told me the same thing. Like a couple of my buddies bought it on. One of them bought them on the PS5, and the other one bought it on the Series S because he got an S, and he was like, "Yeah, I just have it because he travels a lot." And they both just basically were like, oh, I'm not buying it. They canceled their pre-order because after that shit came out, they canceled it, and then they bought it on PC instead because they were like, bro, what the hell? And I'm like,
that's what happens with independent. They're an independent studio. They're gonna struggle a little bit there, but it's not good.
Wait on that ray tracing lotion, boy. You're gonna wait on that. Just like Craig. Craig got the lotion I prescribed for him. His old ashy sunburn looking self. I can tell you that much. Yeah, I had to prescribe.
Don't be coming at Craig like that. All right, Craig's a national treasure, bro. Man, right? He saved. Craig is the reason the delay happened. Let's be real.
We needed another Craig, is what you're saying.
I will kiss you on the cheek.
That threw me off. Jay the Earth, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, is it cool that Polyphony and Turn 10 have a lot of respect for each other? Yes, it is. And for those who don't know, they really do from the early days. I think it was Forza Motorsport 2 or maybe 3. The Polyphony team at E3, the whole team came to Turn 10 and observed their game. Kind of open, like Japanese respect. It's like their manners are so incredible. But they came in humbly. They went in and said, like, to observe, and kind of an open admission of the quality, perhaps a sign of them admitting that they had been surpassed, maybe, or they're doing things better. But you read that how you will. But It's exciting. There's so many games coming out. All this consolidation talk. Yes. Do not fall for the negative stuff. We don't. Well, do it. I mean, I hate to be one of those people give you speeches on how to think. Do what you want, but my advice is be positive and enjoy it, because I think the gaming industry is going to be very, very healthy. So we've got Gran Turismo. I just end this on Dying Light 2 impressions. Marlon, have you played Dying Light 2?
Not yet. I'm kind of like, at first I was kind of like all in. I was like, man, you know what, man, I need to see more gameplay. It was more of like, because you notice every time they show it off, it's like they didn't really give you like gameplay. So I'm like,
what's the problem with that?
Yeah, exactly. What's the problem with that? And then when I was reading into the whole thing with the next gen and the Series S and all this, I'm like 30 FPS on Series S. Well, okay, I get it because of the scale of the game. But then I'm like 1080p, and then it says 60 FPS, and then sometimes it cuts down even below that. I'm like, man, I might just get it on PC. Like, I'm still like in limbo as far as like what to really play it on right now. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, even the PC version doesn't perform as well as it should. The game is generally not that well optimized, like compared to other titles. So it's really just a case of. But the gameplay, I will say, we had the review copy. We actually have to go around to do it. I've been waiting for co-op. There was There was no co-op available for the reviewers, but reviews have said is sitting on a 77 Metacritic, if you care about that. But a lot of fans and a lot of people are really enjoying it. They're like, I don't get the negative reviews. It's been good. So there's that. What about you, Zorka? Talk to me. You be playing.
I think I have like 10 hours in it.
Wow.
Okay. I've been playing with my boys. I got lucky and got the review code on Steam.
Nice.
So people are saying the co-op is broken. It was for the reviewers; they couldn't use it. But everybody else is saying co-op is broken. It's not.
Heard about that.
You need to get 2 hours into the game. Like you need it. Like the beginning game is not co-opable. You can't co-op. You got to go through the story a little bit. And then when the world opens up, when you're done talking to Hakan, that's when you can get in with your buddies and play. I've co-opted the entire thing after that, everything with my buddy. And 2 of my buddies actually, and we've had no disconnections, no mess ups, nothing. So that's something that people, from my experience, I haven't seen. I am playing it on a 3090, obviously, because I was lucky enough to get a review code, and my buddies all canceled their console ones and got the PC one, so we're playing there. So I will say that I'm getting about 110 frames at 4K. High stuff. I turned off ray tracing because there was a little problem with it when I turned it on. So I turned that off and I put it at balanced for DLSS, and it looks and runs fucking beautiful. So
wow.
I will say it looks great. The gameplay is way better than the first one, and I just beat the first one in December.
Wow.
With my buddies, the same guys that were playing through this one.
Yeah.
I recommend it for people, man. It's a lot of fun, brutal. It's cool. There's some jank to it here and there, but I expected it. And I would say that the world is freaking awesome. The world is beautiful. It looks awesome when you're running around.
From what
doing
I played,
stuff.
it was nice.
And the draw distance is better. Like you can tell, like the first one, they put kind of stuff in front of you, like walls and buildings, and you're like, man, I can just kind of see a little bit around me. But when you go up in this game, you can see super far. The draw distance is amazing, and different areas and districts look better. So I recommend people check it out. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. Don't expect anything from the story.
From the story, yeah. That's what I was hearing. Yeah.
Is it? Well, I started playing it, and I liked the more serious tone of it. But what could be? It can't be as bad as Halo's story. Aha! I'm gonna get a mob after me at this point. But yeah, it's finally we'll have to end on this very brief topic, but a big one, or potential. Well, it will be. GTA 6 is finally in development.
Whippity doo! Like we didn't already know that already. Everybody,
I love that reaction. Clip that.
Calm down. You should already know this already. Hot potato.
Oh my god!
What in the world? Like,
that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. What are you doing, man?
I'm not understanding. Like, bro, we should already know GTA 6 was in development from way back when. Since we've been dotting T's and crossing I's. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, oh, GTA 6. Oh my God. Like,
I mean, I love his energy. I love your energy, bro. I love your energy, bro. That is like, because when they said GTA 6 is in development, I was like, okay, like knew that shit's coming. Like same thing, and everybody's like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, chill out. Like, what's going on over here? I don't know if they wooed like you did, Ric Flair, but they you know,
man, just crazy. Just like, I mean, like the internet almost explode. I'm like, bro, we already know this already. Like, you know how much money GTA makes? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I can't.
Someone check us. Marlon and Gaz have the same energy. I don't know if I can match Marlon's energy. I was actually excited. I was the one going, ooh, but apparently I'm wrong. No, well, GTA 6 is a force. It's going to be a force. They're going to change the game. Yes, why is everyone celebrating? But I was like, it's official.
I mean, it's official because, like, let's be real. Let's be real, right? Like, anything that they say now, Rockstar, I'm kind of suspect on, because they said they were going to improve. They're going to improve Red Dead Redemption Online. They left it. Like, Red Dead Redemption Online didn't get a lot of, and especially now, like, the community's really irritated by it. People that invested time into that, like, platform of Red Dead.
Give us that 60.
And then not to mention, like, they're just bringing out the game again, or GTA again, instead of giving us free upgrades, right? Like, hey, make it 60, make it this. It's like they're just putting shit out there because they don't care. Like, I don't, and trust me, I know I'm gonna get hate, and I still get hate this day. The review of mine, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most overrated games in the gaming history. I think you want to talk about a stupid story. Like, I'm sorry, you're thinking about going to Tahiti. That's what we're fighting for and killing people for. Because
come on, Dutch.
We're Dutch. I believe you, but
you're not gonna go after him for saying that,
bro. Like, he choked out a lady in the sewer, and you watched. Like, what are we doing here? So that whole game, I just don't. I love Rockstar, man. I love their games. I love GTA. I loved Red Dead Online. One of my favorite games is State of Emergency. If anybody, that's a deep cut. If anybody ever played that, where you're just causing riots.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was amazing.
Emergency, like,
That's a great shout.
I love it. Yeah. Yo, and everybody's like, yo, Zocker, you're stepping on thin ice. I'm like, I get it, bro. But to me, Red Dead felt like it was so dated, gameplay-wise, technology-wise, graphic-wise, world-wise. Beautiful. Gameplay-wise, shit. So to me, they need to figure that out first before we get all hyped up and start wooing, like Marlon was saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna be ready for it. I'm gonna get it day one, but I'm gonna be looking at it like with real harsh criticism.
State of Emergency 2 on screen, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys were too young to play this, you missed out. This is so good. Oh, the fat guy, I remember this. Oh, so good.
Asa, good game.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That's what I do.
Asa,
Terrible.
I love you, Asa.
Terrible, so
man.
sick.
Zalker, you don't get the story. Dutch is a cult leader.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. Hoggy Channy for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He goes, delay Dying Light 2. Played it, returned it on Series X. I do think they should have been delayed. I think always the game.
They already had delayed it already for the last time.
I know, but woo, it's gonna be a thing now. No, Ric Flair in the house. Yeah, they did later already, but the game really needs work. I'm just
Needs more time in the oven. Giving us raw chicken, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're all getting salmonella with the way these games are being released, and I'm not a fan of those. So that needs to happen. And someone goes, delay every game until every company's bankrupt. Yes, that's what CD Projekt Red deserve. No, it's not. I don't believe that. Well, this has been. How long is the show?
What, 3 hours?
Bro, it's just
About
whatever.
2.5 hours, bro. You told me 2 hours max. So now I'm charging you for my time.
Oh, you're charging me after you broke the show?
Had to start the counter again after you disconnected, man.
You know what I'm charging you? I'm charging you my thumbnails. You got to make them for me.
All right,
that's taking 2 minutes. I
like that. Like that self-deprecating.
Yeah.
But guys, it's been a lot of fun. This is probably the most unorthodox show since we've ever started. Combination of Zorka's pure facts. Chat, let us know. We've not had a show like this. It's been a bit of a disparate mess, but the good kind of organized chaos. Not so organized, but it's speaks to the madness in the industry and the guests. Zorka with his constant talking but pure unfiltered source, and Marlon with your energy and representing PlayStation in a way that a lot of PlayStation guys don't want to rep, with facts, truth and heart, as well as great energy, man. Thank you gents both for coming on. It's honestly an honor, a pleasure. In, well, no particular, Zorka, before you disconnect again, I hope you had a good time on the show and then disrupting and causing chaos and telling everyone how much Rockstar sucks. But I'm just going to make it worse for you. I hope you had a good time, man, and tell people what's in store for the Zorka show.
Gaz, Asa, it was awesome. Thank you for having me on again. I think it's like the third time I've been on. I don't know. I remember.
Yes.
But it's been every time I come on, I have a great time. You know, I kind of clear my schedule. I love being here. I love the chat. Everybody's talking. They're having a good time. I think you have a really good mix of like actual Xbox and PlayStation and PC guys. Yeah. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I feel like it's everybody. So I always love coming on here. Obviously, you guys can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter and Zalker on YouTube. Always making content, talking, whatever. But I want to give a shout out to Marlon. I haven't talked to you, bro. I've never talked to you before. I've only seen your it's a rap and then like all this other shit gonna go viral out there that I laughed my ass off. Sorry. But you're cool as shit, man. I followed you on Twitter. I'm gonna be talking to you, man. You're a good dude. Honestly, you're actually down to earth and kind of cool. And you're not like these like some people get real toxic on here, like for just gaming. And in reality, we all just love gaming. And that's the whole thing. And I feel that you genuinely actually like gaming. Yes. Like there's a few people where I talk to them, I'm like, you just like the bullshit, huh? Like you just like the drama. You don't really actually.
Are you talking about me? I feel attacked right now.
Oh no, yes, you've played dozens of minutes of games. Like honestly, dozens of minutes.
Apex Legends is a game. It counts.
But no, everybody here I think actually genuinely loves the hobby and loves the gaming. That's who I want to talk to and surround myself with. So yeah, man, you're cool people. And so thank you guys again. Thank you, chat. I had a great damn time. And a couple people complained that I cuss a lot. I'm sorry. It's just who the fuck I am.
We can't control what the guests say.
I'm sorry.
Like, no, seriously though. Thank y'all so much for having me, man. And Zalker, like, man, it's my honor. You know what I'm saying? To, talk to you, man, and chill and talk video games. I'm very passionate about this stuff, and it's great to have somebody from RDX and would love to, chop it up with you and maybe come on that show or anything.
Hey, don't play. Relax, bro.
RDX.
Look at him take his swing right now. Look at him take his swing.
Bring the energy there. We'll have you on, man. And you've got masses of it.
Oh, I already know. Lock and loaded. But I appreciate you guys. Asa, guys, man, love you guys, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. Keep it gaming 100,
Yep.
You too, man. You keep it 100. Just always. You are the face of PlayStation. You will make ways for keeping it real. You will always entertaining us. Well, how many source videos have I put you on there? And I've always said it. It's like, take it from one of the more honest members of the PlayStation community. It's always great. And there's a reason why everyone in chat is loving you as well. Marlon is the man. And it's not just me saying it. So well done, man, for your whatever you've been doing in your space, for crafting it so well, for keeping it real, and for blessing us with your presence, brother. Thank you so much. Both of you gents are always keeping it real. Speaking of keeping it real, I'll tell you who doesn't keep it real in the virtual world. Why are you dropping sauce on me? Keep it real. The person who doesn't keep it real is Asa, because he lives in the virtual world where the metaverse is. Asa, it was a messy show. What did you think, man? You were quite quiet and then loud in some points. How did you find today's show?
I don't know. It was chaotic. There was noise everywhere. But no, that's great. Like it's having these not conflicts, but the different perspectives and the conversations. Right? It's open, and you just rather than having like all four of us say, "Oh, we all agree on the same points." This nice, respectful discourse, and that's what I'm here for. And with a little bit of fun, a little bit of sauce. So Thank you,
Yeah.
both of you, for coming on and being great guests about it. Thank you, everyone in chat. I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone here. Yeah, that's good. Come on, watch me on Twitch.
That's a lie.
I play.
That's a
It's
lie.
not a lie. It's not a no. I promise. I play a lot of VR in the daytime, and I play pancake games in the evening. So I do both things. Come along and chat any old times. Pancake games, yeah, you know, flat ones.
Non-VR games. That's what they are.
Sexual.
Yeah. No, the pancake is he's just talking non-VR. It's what you talking about. Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you so much, gents. It's been an incredible. I had so much fun. You can probably tell. I was we've got to clip Marlon. Someone clip Marlon there. That was brilliant, man. That's the kind of energy I live on. But everyone in chat. So there was a lot of console warring. I can't even complain about it. I'd run the
my
source,
God.
so I'm
Yeah.
like facilitating it. But
Yeah.
it's part of discourse. There are a lot of podcasts out there over their high horse, but they're really dry. We have intelligent conversation, but we do thrive on the freedom of speaking and letting people say their piece. It's all pieces of plastic until it becomes real. That's fake, by the way. Don't ban us. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be pushing out some videos this week. Not all source videos, but obviously some source. And we'll be back next week. Really, I'm grateful for everyone's super chats and just your comments and turning up this week. Please smash the button on the like button on the way out. Share it out if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, then don't do any of that. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Mad love. God bless.